This video is made possible by our patrons.
Let's do this.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another WGO cover of the Butcher's Tribe tournament. Today we have Seraphon versus Slaves to Darkness. I am joined by Mark.
Hello, hello.
And also Fabian, who might be tableside right now. Fabian, are you here? No, he's tableside. He's given us that juicy, the ghost of Fabian, he's given us that juicy tableside information, but he will be talking to us later. So, as I said, Seraphon versus Slaves to Darkness. Two armies. Seraphon, obviously well known, and this Vanguard list becoming more and more into the meta. So if we go through a quick rundown of the list, our first list is going to be this Seraphon list.
This list, has to be said as well, is one of the big bads, I'd say, at the moment.
Yeah, definitely
this is
true.
One of the lists that if you're in a tournament, you'd go, ugh, this list really, round one.
This is the list. This is the list to beat. This is the boogeyman right now.
This is.
We can see. Okay, in the heroes we got Croak. The big bad of the big bad list. We've got Croak. We've got an Astrolith Bearer. Buffs Croak's ranges. Take some wounds for him. We've got a Skink Priest. Skink Stars Priest. Get some buffs out. 2 blocks of 40 Skinks. In Fangs of Sotek, they can. There's a command ability that when they get charged, they can retreat away and shoot. But versus this particular army, the Vanguard, you cannot retreat from the big block of Vanguard, so you can't run away. And the Vanguard also have a 6-inch pylon, so they don't always have to charge. So it's a nice sort of counter to that. And then we see 2 units of Salamanders who good at shooting, good at fighting. And then we've got the Balewind and an extra command point. So, to enhance Croak's casting ability.
Each of these elements to this list on their own don't sound that terrifying, but my goodness, when they're used with the other abilities in the list, they each become their own little personalized nightmare.
Yeah, look at this castle. Look at this terrifying castle of Lizard Wizards. Well, I never realized Lizard Wizard rhymed. What time to be alive?
Well, it should, and it does. So if you look at the general we're looking at here, this is Lord Croak. He is probably, would you say, the most hated unit in the game?
Yeah, he is. I don't necessarily think he's the most powerful, but I think he's the most hated. Most hated.
It might be because he's 320 points. that might have something to do with it, which isn't a lot. Like when you've got like this big godlike creature, like even your Marathi, you've got your Archeon. They're like 600 points plus. Lord Croak, just 320. It's fine. And for those 320 points, you get a hell of a lot.
It is tying into what you were saying, which is that it's not just his War Scroll that's so crazy that you could put him in any list and he'd be so good, but it is that when you combine it with everything else, it starts really causing problems. Okay, and then we have the Slaves to Darkness list. Now this was sort of a cool list to bust into the meta, but we've been seeing it more and more. So we got the big thing about this is Knights of the Empty Throne makes this big block of 9 Vanguard here becomes a hero. It can pile in 6 inches. You can't retreat from it, and the command ability lets you pick an enemy unit and you roll 1 dice for each model in that unit when they're holding an objective, and for each 3+, they get -1 to their objective holding score, basically. So you take a unit of 40 Skinks, you roll 33 pluses, and now they only count as 10 instead of 40. And if there's only 10 of them on the objective, they're counting as 0. So, Mark, I'll let you run through this list because I know you are an expert at it.
Knights of the Empty Throne. In fact, beside me on my desk at the moment, I have 6.
The actual empty throne.
Yep, I've got 6 completed Vanguard, which are the key to it, and I've got 3 more that I'm currently painting at the moment. So I'm a big fan of this army. So it's in Slaves to Darkness. There's like an additional campaign book, Wrath of the Everchosen, if people are wondering where this comes from. And in Wrath of the Everchosen, it allows you to take Vanguard, which are these big bulky knight unit here. They become a hero. So this big block of 9 is probably the hardest, I'd probably say certainly the toughest hero in the game at the moment. If you get 9 or 12.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of sort of number of wounds and everything, right?
Oh yeah, it's just kind of crazy, really. But it's also hell of expensive, and they're putting a lot of your eggs in one basket there at the moment. So by taking them as a hero, it allows you to give them a command trait and an artifact. So what people are generally doing is they're taking the 6-inch pile-in, which for various reasons makes them a big utility. It gives them a lot of utility. It allows you to be able to not run and charge, but run and pile in 6, which gets around a lot of annoying things. For example, the Fangs of Sotek ability that his opponent has.
And again, because they're a hero, they can make their own. They can turn their run roll into a 6-inch roll, independently wherever they are on the board.
There's so many little things like that in that you don't realize such a strong thing until you play it.
Scary looking mounts models as well.
They look amazing. Just catching up a little bit with the game at the moment, and this is one of the reasons I hate Croak so much. It's just
the buffs. We're going. The buffs have started. Seraphon have been given this. Varangard is a 1-drop army, and so they've given Seraphon the first turn.
And would you like to tell the audience how many command points the Seraphon list is sitting on?
So Croak does roll a bunch of dice for thingy, so we'll have to see. Fabian will have to let us know how many command points we're currently on. I think the Seraphon list is starting 5.
5.
Alrighty. So
just casually starting.
A bunch of the heroes roll multiple dice, and for 4 pluses, they're getting command points. So they're, it's a big jump immediately out of the gates to 5. And we can see we got run and charge. I don't know if these are the exact buffs that we're getting. Run and charge +1 to save. And mortals on 6s to wound definitely is one of them. But these small characters are buffing up these blocks of skinks. So what do you think? What do you think we're going to see out of this first turn? Because the Seraphon player obviously aware that he's up against a possible double. So you think we're going to see him just stay here in his castle and just say, not risk it? You think he's going to? It looks like these Saurus Guard on the right might move up to take this objective because he doesn't mind losing them. But I think he might just stay here in his castle. What do you think?
Yeah, This is I think the standard Seraphon go-to idea here is that you've got Croak that he doesn't need much protecting, not really. This is another reason why we hate him, but he's tough. Some protecting. So he's going to remain in this little skink castle that we see here. He's surrounded by 2 layers of skinks.
Yeah.
So
a bunch of these
fairly safe at the moment. He's also going to try and cast all his spells that he can from within that. And the one other thing that he might do is push those Saurus Guard forward, and I think he's going to teleport another unit into the other objective.
You think so he's, is he going to teleport a unit of salamanders there? I think
so, yeah.
I think that's, you're sort of throwing away your salamanders there for 2 points. And I actually often say this, and I'm often wrong about it, but it feels like these games, because we're going to have a big unit of Varangard, that might blow through these skinks, that it might not be a game that comes down to 2 points.
Yeah, you could be right.
You might be thinking, I can't risk losing this, because so in this battle plan, your home objective is worth 4 to your opponent and 1 to you. Side objectives are both worth 2, and then the same for your opponent's one. So for the Seraphon player, it's 1 for this, 2 for each of these, and 4 for this one. So he might just be thinking it's not worth taking this for 1 turn. If the game possibly ends up with his bunker being broken and his opponent scoring 4 per turn, for turns 4 and 5 because he's busted the bunker. So yeah, hard to say. I know for me, I always like doing something like dropping a small unit here to just take those free 2 points. But I don't know if he's only got blocks of 40 skinks and his main damage output is maybe coming from the salamanders. He maybe doesn't want to do that. So he might just go for the 3 and not take the risk on the double turn.
I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. So this is something we may not have explained. So with the Seraphon, they can teleport 1 unit a turn. I think they just get that.
Yeah. It's just automatic.
Most armies, you have to roll some sort of dice. You have to earn it somehow. Not the case in Seraphon. You just get it. You just move them wherever you want, basically. So he's going to be choosing 1 unit, and he's going to be teleporting it 9 inches away from the Slaves to Darkness. So we're kind of debating which one he's going to do and which one would be best to do. So it's either going to be a big block of 40 skinks or it's going to be salamanders. There are pros and cons to both.
I
Salamanders can attack the same turn that they come down, which
Yeah.
is great. But they're going to get charged ultimately.
Reroll once to hit. Here's a thought that I just had. You tell me what you think about it. You take the Saurus Guard on the right, and you teleport them onto this objective on the left.
Yeah.
And then you just move your skink shield. Right? You like run it, and you just get one skink over here touching this objective on the right.
Yeah.
So you take this objective, but you don't put anything on, because it's, from the Seraphon player, it's the left side, it's the west side. This doesn't make any sense. It's the left side of the board that's more dangerous. So he could teleport his Saurus over there, and they can be the cheap, score 1 turn unit. Alternatively, if he puts them on the right, it's like, is there a good way for the Slaves to Darkness player to send something over there? I don't know.
So we're getting some updates from the boards at the moment.
Yep.
Basically, this front unit, this wall, is getting buffed to.
It's got everything. It's prepping for in case that double turn happens. He's got all his buffs up. He's ready.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see him throw it forward.
No. Well, it's like how far forward is too far. Like, could he get to all 3 objectives touched by those skinks? Would that be too far forward?
Is the teleport in the hero phase?
I don't know. Not gonna lie.
Because it looks like he's maybe doing what we were talking about, where we're going to see these skinks come up. Although they're not quite at the objective. So I'm interested to see what happens here. Because he's moving up. He's maybe just going to, because as we talked about, these, the Vanguard can run and pile in, which gives them, 10 plus 6 for the run, plus 6 for the pile in, 22-inch threat. But they could still charge. It looks like he's not afraid of it.
No.
It looks like we're just pulling the trigger and we're going up, and I don't know, is he gonna?
He counts at all, does he?
No, he's just. This is very weird to me because he's not quite on.
Phase, by the way, the teleport.
End of the movement phase. Okay, because he's not on this objective.
No, but he could move these.
Yeah. And so I'm just curious as to what providing this huge frontage is, because they got +1 to save, they got reroll 1s to save. Is that enough to protect them from Vanguard damage? It feels like no to me. And when you're so spread out like this, your sort of your damage back is a lot less potent. I forget what's the range of the skink weapons. Is it 18 or is it 12 for bolt spitters?
I think it's 12.
So
I will double check.
Yeah, let me just look this up in the application, in the Age of Sigmar application. Skink.
Another thing that's happened as well is
it is 16 on bolt spitters.
It's 16. Okay. So Comet's Call went off, and that took out 2 Marauders. That may not sound like a lot, but that's enough to take their rend out. Yes. So normally when they attack and they're a big blob of 20, they've got -1 rend, which makes quite a big difference, actually.
Yeah.
But the second they lose one of those models, it goes down to nothing. And that's what's happened here. So I imagine Luke's plan may have involved teleporting those Marauders 9 inches away from the enemy. Great thing about Marauders is they almost always make their charge.
Anything but a double 1.
Anything but a double 1 and they're in. So it's kind of a sure thing that you can teleport them somewhere and then make that charge and do quite a lot of damage normally if you buff them up. But now they...
This video is made possible by our patrons. If you want to know more about how to support us, click on the link to the right.
Okay, we should be back now. I don't know what happened there. Thanks for letting me know.
If you just go into if you go into YouTube, it just says with thanks.
Yeah, I saw it. It changed on OBS. Brief technical. There we go. Okay, we had some technical difficulty, but we should be back now. I don't know what happened there.
I'm just refreshing it now, and it's okay.
I can see on the stream, that we're back. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know how we skipped.
Yeah, it looks like it's back. I'll come back.
Okay. Sorry, guys. We accidentally cut to the credits. You missed some really smart, probably the smartest stuff we said. That's unfortunate. So smart we maybe can't.
Unfortunate, yeah.
Probably too smart to say really for a second time.
Yeah, really insightful stuff.
I think maybe we were shut down by GW or the FBI for what we were talking about.
They probably work together, don't they?
Yeah, apologies everyone, but we're back. So probably Lord Croak, DDoSing in the stream.
You can also shut down screen.
Yeah, that global unbind does apply even
to streams as well. Yes. So interesting. He didn't put up his Balewind. He's moving.
No, yeah. I guess because. Oh, sorry, can
This is a mistake I think Seraphon players often make. Is they always on the first turn put up Croak onto that great big pedestal. It's actually a lot scarier when he moves forward.
Yeah, because because especially if if you're not getting into range on that first turn, you don't want to go up because once you're in the middle, suddenly you're in range on your Balewind to everything. Yeah,
exactly.
And now Croak does have a global unbind, but the big buffs that are coming through on the Slaves to Darkness side are prayers.
Yeah, really good point. Yeah.
So. There's obviously the teleport spell, probably not going to go off. Luke's probably not relying on it.
Well, I hope he's not.
I hope he's not. But the prayers, those prayers are still going through. And these Vanguard, I know when I play a list like this, when you play a combat list versus sort of a shooting and shenanigans list, having them in your 3-inch threat range, right? It always makes me feel more confident. Just because I'm like, okay, I can at least start getting value out of all my combat units in the first turn. Which I think, I think people often think of shooting armies as doing lots and lots of damage, but the reason for that is often that they can focus fire. They don't have to worry about screens, so they can do 1,400 points of shooting into your one unit. But combat armies do more damage because they fight in both turns. So being able to get turn 1 damage into this Screen of Skinks, for me, if I was playing the Slaves list, I'd be feeling good about this so far.
Yeah.
Now I say that I don't know.
This aggressive.
But I do not have that much experience with Seraphon lists. Maybe luckily for me. We'll be interested to see. It looks like he's going to be a tiny bit within 16 inches. So you can maybe fire some pot shots from this front row of skinks, but it doesn't look like he's in range for a lot of damage.
Did they run?
Yes, probably. They definitely.
So I don't think they're going to be shooting. Which is, you may think, well, what is skink shooting going to do, really? But they do mortals on a 6 to wound, which means it doesn't really matter if they're shooting absolute.
No, shout out to Gary in the chat. So JP with loads of exclamation marks, probably mad at me for accidentally shutting down the stream for a second. And then I got a question: why is Seraphon moving his heroes so much? Yeah, I think it's just because I guess he was out of range to do stuff with them, and we're sort of just shoving the whole castle forward. It makes me a little apprehensive that he's about to get smashed. But again, I imagine he has a lot more experience with Seraphon than I do. So I guess again, if it doesn't matter so much if your castle is safe if it's at the back of the board, not scoring for you. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can't literally castle at the back of the board because you will just lose on objectives.
Yeah.
It would be a fairly broken game if you could.
And I guess for some games, right? There are definitely some games where you're like, I can't afford to worry that much about turn 2 priority. You're like, if it happens, it's bad, obviously. I don't want to eat the double turn. But you might be like, if you stay too far at the back, and then your opponent wins the double turn, and they just give it to you because you're still not in a position to capitalize, and then you're facing a new double turn in the next turn. So sometimes you just have to say, look, okay, I'll deal with the double turn, see what happens when it happens, but I'm just going to make sure that I'm set up so that if I win the roll, I'm in a really good position to punish, and I get value out of my first turn by scoring multiple objectives.
Yeah, it's the double turn mechanic's been a bit of a controversial one since it was implemented. There's a lot of people that don't like it. I personally,
Yeah.
I love it personally,
Mhm.
just because of what you were saying there. Like, so the Seraphon player has been told to go first. That means he knows at some point he's most likely going to be dealing with a double turn at some point.
Yep.
So he's got to plan for it.
Mhm.
Now, this is where I think he may have made a mistake. Yeah, I don't know if you would pick up on this as well, because there's 2 layers to this skink castle.
Mhm.
If both layers are gone, then I think it's game for
yeah.
Luke. So, and I think with double 6-inch piling or a double turn, Luke can get rid of it.
And also, it's not like, this is sort of what we were talking about pushing forward, is when the skinks were sort of at the back, you're like, okay, the Vanguard can get there with a 10-inch charge maybe, and you're sort of like, okay, that would be bad. But then the army's separated, and maybe you didn't get all of them in. With him here, he's not just going to take the damage from the Vanguard, right? This front screen is Chaos Knights, so he's going to get hit by Chaos Knights and by Vanguard, and maybe even you can get something like a Chaos Warshrine charging into you, and a Chaos Warshrine is not insane combat damage, but when you're hitting skinks with a 6-up save, right? Like you're putting away 10 skinks, 5 to 10 skinks, so. When that's
what they can do.
Exactly right. They got 2 damage on some of on half their attacks. So
their attacks are 2 damage.
All their attack, yeah. Some of them have 1 rend. So yeah, I just I'd be worried about getting hit by so many units from so many fronts. I mean, but again, we at some point you just gotta see. And also in general, one thing I always, when people are talking about advice for people for when you're getting into the game, is I'm like, play more aggressively, because there's 2 things. One, it means you're getting your units to do stuff. You can lose your units in 2 ways. One, you're too aggressive and they all die, and 2, you're too defensive and they don't do anything. And I'm like, you might as well have them be aggressive because they'll score you some points. And the other thing is, I think you learn faster when you play aggressively. Like, if you play super defensive and you end up losing on points at the end, you're sort of like, I guess I should have played more aggressively, I think. But you're like, maybe I just would have been crushed. Whereas when you play more aggressively, you learn really quickly, like, what your limits are. You're like, oh yeah, I got smashed. Like, next time I'm going to move half as far forward. And you just, it's like, for me, I'm like, I think like, I default to playing more aggressively because it forces more things on your opponent. And it allows you also to take advantage of your good luck more. If you play defensively and you win priority, you're like, well, I can't do that much with it. Whereas, and this is mainly in situations where I'm not sure what to do. I'm like, okay, well, I'll set it up so that if I do get lucky, I'm in a good position to capitalize on it. And if I get unlucky, I was going to be in a bad shape either way. So
I think you said before the stream, and I thought you said it very well, actually. It was a lot of people moan about losing because of the double turn, but it's usually the fact that they've got themselves into a position where it's, if I'm doubled, it's over.
Yeah. You sort of,
a lot of the time that's it, and that's a big difference between the double turn. Was the reason I lost. It's like, well, you got yourself into that position to begin with, and it can be feel bad sometimes, but.
Gary also makes a good point in chat. He's saying basically that a lot of people don't like the double turn, but the alternative is whoever wins the turn 1 roll off has effectively won all 5 priority rolls.
Yeah,
and so you're going second, and you're just like, oh well, I hope I can catch up. And when I played some 40k, a big thing I noticed was, and I wasn't super good at it, but I was like, I can get away with so much because I know that my opponent only has 1 turn to punish me. I'm like, I can push this unit forward, and it's like, yeah, okay, maybe my opponent kills it, maybe they don't, but if they do kill it, they're not bursting through my lines. I get another turn after they kill it to make up for it. And so
we're starting to see some summoning now.
Oh, okay.
You can see on the board there, we've seen summoning 10 skinks.
Okay.
Now, 10 skinks may not seem like a lot, but every turn, that's game winning.
Yeah, I mean, they start adding up. Especially versus a unit like Slaves, versus an army like this, where so much points are in this one Death Star unit, they can't be everywhere at once.
Exactly, yeah. That's the key to beating Luke, actually. Little known fact, or probably widely known fact, is it can only be in one place at one time. If it's the last unit left on the board, Luke's pretty much lost.
Yeah.
And that's often what happens.
Now, we're seeing here, so these skinks, they do need to come down in range of a slam. So they will be over here or something. Again, this is why I was sort of wishing why didn't we teleport the Saurus onto this objective on the left? You would be sort of throwing them away, which is maybe why you didn't want to do it. But I feel like you maybe don't mind splitting your if he's putting Varangard over here, because these 5 Chaos Warriors probably won't kill 5 Saurus Guard in a oneer. I guess they will take it back though. So maybe it's not worth it just for 2 points for 1 turn. He can always teleport them later. But I feel like this turn was so aggressive to not score all 3 objectives. That's what worries me.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Although, have we still got the teleport still to come? Can that come?
Yeah, it still can. I'm not sure. I guess he teleports the 10 skinks that he summoned, maybe? Can he do that?
That seems so broken. Yeah, I have no doubt.
Wait, are we gonna? Is this another 10 skink? Oh no, these are skink handlers. Oh no, I think he's just picking a different color unit.
I was kind of hoping he would do that actually, because it's getting very confusing which unit's part of what.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no real way to tell. He's just going to have to count 40. This is something that digitally you wouldn't necessarily have to deal with.
Yeah.
But with we are for some reason. So another use of these 10 skinks is it's going to add another very, very thin layer, a paper thin layer to the skink castle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but often it is that paper thin layer that protects you from something like, these 18 marauders getting into your salamanders.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it does. He's starting to measure now. Look, he's going 9 inches away, 9 inches away. I think he's suddenly woken up to the fact that there's a great big,
shaped
hole in this back line here.
I think and this again sort of comes from that play aggressively advice that I generally give. It's like, you can't play the whole game without ever leaving a 9-inch gap in your lines.
No, you can't. No.
At some point you got to say, okay, it's a 50-50 the spell goes off on a 7. It's a 50-50. It's better than a 50-50 that I unbind it with Croak, right? So, and then, so you're like, okay, it's a 1 in 4. 1 in 4, 1 in 5 chance of it going off. So how much do I compromise on it? You're like, okay, you try and not give him, a charge into Croak, right? You're like, I don't want to lose the game on a 1 in 5, but I can afford to take a little damage.
Now?
Oh, here we go. So, okay.
So what's he teleporting?
He's teleporting the block of 40 skinks to just give them, I guess, some extra move. But
that is a hell of a big of an extra move.
This is also weird to me, because if he didn't run, could he not have teleported and then shot?
Yes.
This is very weird to me.
I think this is moving them forward, then going, actually, I definitely don't want to do that. Potentially due to the reasons we were talking about. And is maybe changing his mind, which
but actually
allow you to do that.
Maybe what he's doing now, this is the Galaxy Brain play, right? Is he spends, it takes 20 minutes or something to do your first movement turn. This whole time, Luke's thinking about, okay, what's my turn going to look like? He's like, okay, I'm going to charge into this big block. I'm going to smash it up. And then he's like, end of the movement phase. Okay, I teleport over here. And now Luke's like, wait, what was I up to? Now the board looks completely different. And you sort of got that free... You basically invaded Luke's mind space for planning. I don't know if at all. It's probably more likely he just changed his mind. But it's possible that, he gets Luke... that Luke's like, okay, I've come up with my plan. And now this unit's all the way over here. And you can see Luke just measuring.
I think they're discussing now. So these are out of range now. So I think this is an oops, I made a mistake. But the army allowed me to correct it.
Yeah.
Which is nice if you have that option.
Yeah, I mean, often I think top tier armies are armies with those get out of jail free cards.
Well, I wouldn't say this is necessarily an out of jail free card.
No, but
he's allowing. I'm sure he hasn't finished placing these guys yet for a start.
Yeah.
So another thing that could happen is Luke could get the teleport off the Marauders, and do the skinks have to be in range of the Slan in order to get that Sotex guard goodness?
No, I don't think so.
They just get it.
I think it's just you can use it when...
Something we often say when we're talking about Seraphon. Surely the X, Y, and Z has to happen. No, they just get it.
Yeah, I know.
Use this command ability at the end of the enemy charge phase. If you do so, pick one friendly Fangs of Sotex Skinks unit from the Skinks War Scroll or family Chameleon Skinks unit that is wholly within 18 of a friendly Fangs of Sotek hero.
Okay, so he won't be able to retreat and charge or to retreat and shoot with these skinks.
Yeah, but Luke's got to get there though.
Yeah, I imagine this line of dice that are all 22 inches away from the Varangard is the block. But the interesting thing about that is... Oh no, 22 is also the charge threat range. Sorry, I forgot they don't move 16 then charge because they can't run in charge. But yeah, okay, so we're seeing...
So you can see they're placing dice here, which I think
they are 22. Yeah, they're 22 away.
Now, personally, this is what I would have done at the start.
Oh, no, so he's actually resetting up his line. So he's going to be in the same shape, but he's just going to be 22 inches away.
Oh, I see what... Yeah, so
he's just going to make sure he's 22 inches away.
So this is just a complete reset of what we saw earlier.
So it's just going to be... It looks like it's just going to be the same deployment, but 22 inches away. But also, please put one skink on this objective.
Yeah, please, just one. That's all we ask. It just takes one. You get 1 point.
2 points, because it's the side objectives.
2 points, sorry. Yeah.
Now, this is what I was talking about before, about being too afraid of teleports.
Yeah, here we go.
Right?
Yeah,
you're taking the 1 in 5 chance to, okay, you lose, you get marauders in your flank. I don't want that. Nobody wants that, right? But is it worth 2 points? Is it worth 2 points in this game? Maybe yes. Maybe, as we talked about, it's not going to come down to points at all. It's going to come down to who can break the other player's bunker. In which case, I agree with this. But it feels a little bad to me to give away 2 points just for that. But
I agree. But I play quite aggressively with.
Yeah, me too. And I often lose games because I play that aggressively. So
I
what do I know?
lose games because of it. So.
And also, it's often a thing where you're like, it's important to play aggressively because what do you do if you run out of time at a real tournament and the game gets called? Like you're like, if it gets called at turn 4 because your opponent's playing quite slowly or something like that, it can be good to be up on points. Also, it's good because sometimes your opponent can concede because they're like, oh, I feel like I can't win because you're so far ahead. And you're like, oh, that's just because I played aggressively. I've often been in that situation trying to convince my opponent that they can still do stuff. And even then, they're like, I'd rather go to the bar.
I'm a big Skaven player, so that's generally what I try and do. I try and clear the board with rats as fast as I can.
Oh, I thought you were going to say try and get your opponent to concede because you're a filthy rat player.
Yeah, that as well. But you can see, look, 9 inch. Look, there's a great big map. I think this guy's trying to stop 9-inch gaps from occurring, but I don't think he's going to manage it just because. Oh no, really?
It doesn't seem worth it to me.
Yeah,
And again, this is why I'm like, just play more aggressively and learn what happens when they go into your backline. Maybe you lose the game for it, but I'm like, also for me, it sort of what ends up happening is I'm like, okay, I blocked off the 9-inch for this turn. Am I going to do it again next turn? Am I going to spend the whole game blocking off 9-inch things? I don't think so. So why not? Again, nothing's getting into Croak. Nothing's really getting into Salamanders. Maybe 1 or 2 Marauders. Feels overly defensive to me. But again...
Yeah. I think he's scared of Luke. I think in the other chat, Luke's been hyping himself up.
Luke's like, I'm going to teleport my Marauders and smash all your characters. That is the sort of thing Luke would say.
Yeah.
That's why he's not allowed to be not allowed to be here where we can hear him.
No, it's better when you don't hear him, to be honest.
Yeah. But yeah, it can make... I understand. Like, I've definitely played games where I've done similar things to like this, and I play 2 defensively versus teleports, and then it gets to turn 3, and I realize, like, I need to now open up to the teleport anyways, and now it's just I've wasted 3, the first 2 turns with that unit. But
so how do you think Luke's looking at this at the moment? So I think he's... So to be fair to the guy, he's got there eventually, but he's now outside 22. Yeah.
So he's outside 22. So I don't know how far he is. Is it 9 or 12 across? It's 12, right? So he's still within. He's in charge range for some knights.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, this has changed. The game state has not changed at all.
I felt we're at the stage where we know those skinks are going.
Oh no, sorry, from turn 1. I agree, it's changed from when they were here. So basically, he's like, I'm still out of range. I've just shuffled my castle forward a little bit to get some scoring done, and now we're back at sort of the standoff stage. I agree. The first setup was like, let's go, let's see, So now we are back in the sort of like. Okay, let's see what happens. Is Luke going to really just run everything forward and hope he wins priority? Also,
honest hand on heart, I think that was Luke's plan all along.
I mean, it's not even a terrible plan, right? Because in your next turn, right, where can you move to where you're not in the threat range of getting shot by skinks? Nowhere.
You can't.
Right, you're now, it's a 16-inch threat range, so these guys can just walk forward in the next turn and start shooting you if you play too defensively. I feel like I'm now suddenly an advocate for just playing with reckless wild abandon. But, if you're Luke, maybe you make sure you score this objective probably with your 5 Chaos Warriors. And then maybe you just push everything up. You just, get a shuffleboard stick and just move your whole block up here. And you're just kind of like, if I win priority, I'm going to start really damaging stuff. And if I don't, I'm going to take this more or less the same damage and still provide ample threats. Because what you sort of don't want to do is only move one unit into shooting range and then lose priority and lose that unit for free. And the situation doesn't change.
Yeah, which the knights could very easily die. Let's be fair. Yeah. If they move themselves up, then fail a charge, they're pretty much dead in the water there.
Yeah.
Luke doesn't have the Seraphon luxury of being able to summon in stuff willy nilly. Once stuff is dead, the Slave to Darkness.
Oh, you say that. When the Vanguard die on a 5+, he can bring back 3 Vanguard.
Without one exception. Yes. But generally, it is dead once it is dead.
Yes.
So someone's asked in the chat, what do you guys think about the new Soul Blight models?
Yeah, cool. I mean, I think the Blood Knights, I don't think are as cool as Vanguard. So I was like, okay, exactly. I was like, if I was gonna do Blood Knights, I'd probably just try and convert Vanguard or something. But I think all the new heroes are super cool. And I don't know exactly what the deal with Shovelman is. I don't know where he fits into the game, but I thought he looked really cool as well.
I love Shovelman purely for the fact that he has -1 rend on that shovel.
I don't know why people are talking about if someone was like, I'm hitting you with the side of a shovel, I'd be like, definitely. I'm surprised it doesn't have 2 rend.
Yeah, that's a fair point, actually.
I look also at the shovel. It's not like, a nice soft round.
It's probably a very sharp shovel.
It's a huge triangle, boy. I'd be terrified of getting.
What's he hitting with you? What if he hits you with the blunt end of the shovel? There's no
There's
rend
no
on
way.
that,
There's no way.
There's no rend.
There's no way he hits you with the blunt end. Also, rend is going through armor, right? So also maybe it's so one of the things that used to happen in medieval days is people would hit you in a suit of armor with just a big old club, and it would just break loads of your bones from getting shook around in their armor. So maybe it's just effective rend. He just sort of hits you like a gong with the flat side of the shovel.
Effective rend. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No.
All right. So what unit are you saying that should have more rend than the shovel?
Vanguard.
What Vanguard have rend?
-1.
Yeah, good. The same as the shovel. It is the same.
So they may as well be charging around with gardening appliances.
Look, if I want you to tell me that I'm zooming in on these Vanguard, right? They got these tiny little pokey spears. Fine. You're telling me that does more damage than if they had a spade, the triangle spade that he has. I don't think so.
That's kind of my point. I don't think so. I feel very strongly about this. I don't think that spade should have -1 rend.
Yeah, I think you should probably leave. Is there a way I can mute you? When's Fabian coming on?
He'll come round in a bit.
So that's apparently quite divisive.
Yeah, well, it's divisive amongst me and pretty much no one else.
No, I've seen multiple people in the chat being like, why does this model not have rend and this guy does? And I'm like, because look at the shovel. Just literally look at the 2 models and be like, shovel man, yeah, of course, higher rend. A shovel is just 2 axes that have been fused together facing outwards, if you think about it.
You're just wrong.
Look at an axe, right? Put 2 axes back to back together and tell me what does that look like? Yeah, which is just a shovel.
Right. Okay. That's the end.
That's the end of the stream. Thanks, everybody.
That's the end of that turn. And are you going to get your wish now? I think I'm going to go swap with Fabian.
Oh, good. If he says anything, I'm just throwing my PC into the bathtub.
Yeah, he definitely won't. Don't worry.
Okay. So again, turn 1. The buffs have gone up on this. So remember, these 5 buffs over here, they are all up on these skinks. This front shield. The first line of defense, our first responders doing the Lord's work, doing the Lord Croaksworth. Although they all are facing the wrong way, which I never like. So yeah, and basically we've shuffled the castle forward a little bit out of the key threat range of the 22 inches away from these Varangard. And yeah, he's basically said, okay, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yo.
Fabian, how's it going? What's the atmosphere like tableside? That's what I want to hear.
I mean, I was falling asleep, but it's all it's all good. No, like Luke's as normal. He's cracking his jokes and having a bit of banter and saying his normal stuff like, "Ooh, I don't know if you want to put that there," and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we were saying that the mind games for the 9-inch teleport seem to be in effect. Okay, so we got some prayers going off. We can see here. Okay, reroll to wound and to save has both gone off on the Vanguard, so the buffs are coming in thick and fast. I don't know where, they sort of might end up all dressed up with nowhere to go. I'm not sure where the Vanguard are going this turn. And this is one of the things about relying on the double turn. When you get all your buffs up and then you're set up to get double turned, you're like, okay, well, this is the best case. I got double mileage out of my buffs. When you get all your buffs up and you're going for the double turn, you're going to lose them all in that second turn. And obviously you can roll them and put them back up, but there's always the chance you fail them. So these buffs right now in turn 1 are maybe not that important.
Yeah, there was one that I was surprised that he didn't do, which was the +1 to hit, right?
On the skinks.
Yeah, just on any of his units. He just
what is this one buff? Oh, it says actually here, mortals on 6s to wound. Yeah, I mean, he didn't give +1 to hit. I guess, I don't know exactly where that comes from. Is that a prayer he had to run in charge? Maybe he didn't need?
Yeah.
It seems like to me. But also, he maybe changed his mind halfway through his turn, so it's
Luke's army's like -1 to hit, right? The whole army.
Yeah, -1 to be shot, yes.
Yeah. So I think
he might just be thinking he's relying entirely on the mortals on 6s. It is to wound though, so hit would buff that as well. Yeah, I don't know. Also, there is always an effect of Luke playing against Luke Morton. Maybe he's just it looked like maybe he's still finding his stride. He's playing on stream with very famous broadcasters discussing his every move. Even though I barely know how to play this game with the armies that I do understand, so.
They've also confirmed as well that the Balewind can't be summoned because of the positioning of Croak at the moment as well.
Oh, because it can't be summoned on top of these other models.
Yeah. So they've both agreed it can't be summoned if the Seraphon player gets the next turn.
Yeah, I mean, that takes him from a 10-inch range to a 16-inch range. Right now, when I look at the board, I'm like, I don't know what's going to be 16 inches away. You know what I mean? I'm like, there's either going to be stuff contesting your home objective that you can zap anyways. So it's maybe not a huge deal just for this turn, but I'm pretty sure he'll want to set up a space around him for the next turn. I remember in the old days, the Balewind used to shove all the models out of the way.
Yeah, that's true. It just might come into effect that obviously.
Yeah.
Potentially going to be pushing up. The Croak not having as much range as what he probably should have.
Oh yeah. I mean, you definitely want to have left the range, but especially if Luke wins a double turn, it'll be interesting to see what's within 16 versus what's within 10.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking is, obviously he's looking like he's going to sacrifice this unit of 40 at some point. The one in front.
Mm-hmm.
It just means it's just one more turn of no Balewind, and it just means that Luke can really move up and not have as many mortal wounds hitting his army as probably what it should do, right? Like. Yeah.
It's I think really.
Okay, so Luke has gone for the teleport.
Cool. He has rolled. It looks like it's gone off. Yeah, on a 9.
Yeah.
So Croak, I don't know if he gets a reroll. I know sometimes you can get a reroll buff for some grubs or a constellation or something. So I'm not sure if there's a reroll in it, but I expect we'll see. Oh, we are down to 4 command points. Let me update the UI. Also, I assume the Seraphon player scored 3 points in the first time.
Yeah, 3 points to Seraphon player. Luke's obviously looking to score more this turn. He's going to get 2 objectives, isn't he, quite easily?
Yeah. He'll get the same 2. It's just a matter of whether he gets... Doesn't look like he'll really get a contested one this turn.
He's got the teleport off, so it just depends on where he's going to go with the Marauders here. Whether he...
Have we know? So I didn't see an unbind roll, but I assume it failed?
Yeah, it looks like the Luke rolled a 9, and then the Seraphon player looks like he rolled a 6 and a 1. It looks like.
Okay, so these dice were rolled. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like here. Yeah, the 6 and a 1. So it looks like he's got it off.
Cool.
Not as good as my charge, which fluffed, but it's
still bitter about that. We're still gonna hear it. Yeah, interesting. So where do you put the Marauders? because these skinks are going to shoot you if you charge, right? And you're only really charging maybe 1 unit. It looks like these guys are being moved back because I believe the intent was to be 22 away at all points.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was supposed to be a 22.
Yeah.
I think he measured it out, and then he started moving his models around because he was afraid of teleports and Luke being able to pile in. I'm not too sure. The other question as well, which the guy, it looks like Luke is letting him move his.
Yeah. I think we saw all the dice come down. Both players, good if you're new, if you haven't played tournaments or anything like that. I think people can get a feeling that it's overly scary. But both players basically said, the skink player was like, I want to be 22 away. Both players agreed. And now that the models were a little too close, both players were like, well, we know what we said. So, even at a high level of tournament play, two good players playing powerful armies in a real tournament game, everyone's still playing very sportingly. So if you haven't been to tournaments because you're worried that everyone's going to be like, oh, you took your hand off your model, you can't do anything ever again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like that. Hello, look at this skink's face. Terrifying.
So I mean, if he wants to,
this almost feels like maybe it's going to be one of the most important turns for Slaves to Darkness. Is what is your plan? What do you do here? Are you going to pull the trigger and run everything forward? Because that's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to just start running.
He could maybe move the Marauders onto like maybe an objective, or just threaten like a flank or something, just to maybe. Yeah,
I think. But do you put the Marauders just over on a flank and charge them in and kill some skinks in exchange for losing? You're going to lose all the Marauders probably, because a bunch of them are going to get shot. Right? Which command ability?
He has a command ability to on a 4+, right? With the
yeah, that's what I mean. At best, he's killing some skinks, and at worst, they're just shooting him and running away before he does any damage. So, we'll see.
But I'm also not too sure whether the skinks are all within 18 as well of Croak, right?
Yeah, we were talking about that before. I'm not sure if they're wholly within the bubble, so whether they can get protected by Inspiring Presence or something like that. But if they do shoot with all these buffs, when the Marauders charge, the entire unit of Marauders will be dead by the end of the turn to Battle Shock, almost definitely.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
And they might not really do any damage. And these skinks, they'll be reasonable. Is this coalesced, by the way? The skinks?
Second.
Is it coalesced, the Seraphon army?
The Seraphon, let me just double check for you.
I think Fans of Sotek has to be coalesced, I believe. We'll just double check. I believe it didn't say on the army list just yet. But either way, Seraphon are all right for bravery. So he probably
I think in the Fangs, I think he's bravery like 10, right?
Yeah. So he's either bravery 10 or he doesn't. He's immune to bravery modifiers, and Marauders do reduce your bravery by 1. Oh wait, he can get. You don't need to be wholly within for Inspiring Presence. What am I talking about? Croak can always just Inspiring Presence them, but he won't be in range for the other command ability.
So Mark just said that they're working out how many skinks get the shoot and charging you to get to shoot the charging unit. So it looks like Luke is going to go for a charge here.
Yep. I like this charge over here more, to stay in range of your buffs and to keep, then maybe dropping them on a flank. But yeah, interested to see what happens here. If he's not in range to do the shoot, then it's a much safer charge. You're not going to take too much damage just from skinks in combat.
I think what he's thinking is if he charges on this side, he can potentially get the War Shrine and his Baron Guard in, so he can CP them X, Y, and Z. So he can.
Yeah. That's it's why I didn't want to see him just send them out to the far flanks where you often see them, where they're just going to die for nothing. But if these skinks are not in range to be shot, to get the shot, then I believe the Marauders should be fine. I don't really know. Again, I'm not an expert at skink close combat damage, but they should at least be able to live through this turn, put out some damage for free, and take this objective back by just having more guys within range. But the buffs to the skinks apply both in the combat and the shooting phase, I believe. Okay, so here we go. Here we're measuring the 18 inches. It looks like maybe all the skinks are in range. Look at these Chaos Marauders skeletons. Luke Morton, famous, excellently skilled player, using proxies. What is this? Oh wow, he just pulled them off camera so that I couldn't see them anymore. The Marauders are going back to where they were. So he's changed his mind about getting them all. Yeah, so I think maybe what happened there is that we found out that the skinks were going to shoot them because they were in range, and he decided he didn't want them all to just die.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. With all the buffs that you've got on already as well. Right?
Yeah, makes sense.
I think I don't know. It might have been fine. I mean, he's going to have to take some risks in this game, right? With the way that the Seraphon players kind of just castled up here, right?
Yeah, it's sort of like I think I was talking to this about Mark. Is that the Seraphon player is happy to move up slowly and start chipping away.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're teleporting the Varangard. I like this play. He's basically just like, I might, if I can't charge this turn, I might as well be 9 inches away. And this way he's not within range of the full brunt of both units of skinks. And, a 9-inch charge, 9-inch rerollable if he wants with his command points. I believe he'll be up to 2 command points now. Let me just...
I kind of do and I don't, if you know what I mean. With this.
All right, what's scaring you with this play?
So, the only problem I foresee with this is if he does get a double turn, he's going to lose all his buffs, right? And he's not going to be in range for the War Shrines, unless the War Shrines, he's going to move them all up potentially in range.
One of them, I guess, will run up. Where's the Chaos Sorcerer Lord?
He should be behind that building, I reckon.
Yeah, here he is, hiding behind here. So yeah, he will get 1 War Shrine's worth of buffs. If they are coalesced, all the skinks also take -1 reduced damage, which is one of those rules which is funny in Age of Sigmar where it doesn't do...
They're Starborn?
They are Starborn. Okay, so okay. So they're Bravery 10, I believe, but they won't have that -1 reduced damage. But I agree, he might be out of range for buffs, but what if he gets the 9-inch charge? It's not very likely. Even a 9-inch rerollable is like a 40% chance, I think. So he probably won't. But if he does get it, how good is it for him? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, he wipes out that front unit. I mean,
do you think he wipes out the whole unit? You think he wipes out the whole unit?
If he piles in twice, I think he does.
Well, after the first pile in, there might not be anything left in range for him to hit.
No, without that first unit that he's got, right?
As in, if he removes the casualties from here, he might not be in range for a second pile in.
He's not in range for the Saurus Guard, though, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying in terms of wiping out the whole unit of skinks.
The only other problem I foresee this as well is that this is getting closer to Croak, and Croak did swap out his spell to be able to potentially kill the artifact in the Varangard as well. So I feel like if you're going to get in there, I think he just needs to be a little bit careful on what he's doing. That's all.
Sure. So the alternative to this play, I think, would have been running up the middle, which maybe you're right. Maybe is safer because it's similar to being out here, but you're in range for all your buffs on the next turn.
Yeah, I like kind of just sort of. I mean, Luke's played this army a lot more than I have, but I like the keeping everything together and almost castling myself at the same time.
Yeah, shoving your. Up, right? Yeah, that's what we were talking about with Mark, and that's what I would have done. He's probably just move everything up in a bubble first. I wonder if Luke maybe felt like he had to use the teleport because he got it off. I wouldn't have hated even just seeing you take the Marauders and you just put them on an objective where you want them to be. 20 bodies in a line at the back of an objective. So you're just like, okay, I use it as an advanced, a slightly faster run roll. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this pans out.
I think if Luke stays out of 12 of Croak, especially with the Bellwind not being able to go on there, then I think the artifact is safe. And then I think he's got a good chance depending on what happens with all the buffs and everything that happens next turn.
Yep. It looks like he's put the War Shrine in range. It looks like he's measuring to make sure he'll be able to buff.
So he's got 1 War Shrine, isn't he, in range?
He's not in range at the moment. He's only within 18.
The other thing he could have done was move the Varangard further forward, similar to where the Knights are positioned now, where he's positioning those Knights. And then you could have teleported the Marauders onto the left-hand objective.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Zoning that out, yeah.
So Owen says, I think Luke needs to put some pressure on So I can understand the play. Yeah, but Owen, I almost feel like you put more pressure by just running everything up in the middle. You're just like, hey, look, here's the ball.
Yeah.
Because it's hard though. I understand. Like on the one hand, you don't want to open yourself up to bearing the full brunt of both units of salamanders and everything like that. But on the other hand, when you split your forces, now these knights might just die for free, while the Vanguard aren't there to immediately punish, the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's but I think it's hard, and I think so far I haven't really seen anything that looks like that I'd be like, oh, that's a mistake. It's more just like there's a lot of hard decisions to make here, and it's interesting to see which exact ones the players are going for.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of the tactic of
running it down mid.
Yeah, literally just putting everything in front of them and saying, if I get the double, I get the double. If I don't, then I'm still in a good position because I'm -1 to hit and I've got 2 or 3 rollables, blah blah blah.
Agreed.
But it also forces the player to make decisions whereby if they don't make good, choices, all of a sudden, the game could potentially be over. Just from if you see what I mean.
We were talking about this before, but you can, if you make these sort of safer plays where you're sort of spread out, sometimes you just make your opponent have an easier decision on what to do, and they just kill something, and they're like, okay, I killed that for free, now back to you, and you're kind of in the same position again, but with less units.
Yeah.
But it's not a huge difference having this unit on the flank than having it in the middle, except for if this War Shrine really can't get into range to buff the Vanguard, which maybe it can't, in which case you're going to be sad if you get the double. Maybe he's thinking if he wins priority, he gives it away. What about that?
Yeah, maybe.
You can't get punished that hard by being more spread out. You're not going to take. Your Vanguard aren't going to take as much damage, but he's got the buffs on the Vanguard. I feel like maybe you want them to be soaking damage more than you want these. How does he have a unit of 4 knights?
Did one die from?
Maybe died to a comet.
It was the Stellar Tempest, right?
So the thing that killed the Marauders before, yeah. Okay, so one knight has already died. So yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's difficult. I feel like he's not putting as much pressure on, but also I feel like he's playing smart and he's not pulling the trigger straight away. So it's not going to be as explosive a turn 2 priority. Both players seem to have been made a good play of pushing up, getting the objectives, getting into threat ranges, and then we're going to see what happens on turn 2 when that priority roll comes out.
Yeah, because if the Slaves of Darkness does get into the Lisbon, I'm showing my age here, the Seraphon army, it will disappear very quickly.
Yes.
It just depends on whether the Seraphon can soak up that first hit and then put the hurt on the Slaves of Darkness.
Yeah, I was sort of talking about whether. Was there a world where you just gave away your 5 Saurus Guard on one of these objectives?
Is it the charge? I think this is the charge here.
Here we go. Let me see it. Wait, did we miss it? Was it already get rolled?
Yeah, he rolled a
7.
Like he rolled a 7. Yeah, 7. So I think
not far enough.
Yeah,
he's thinking about re-rolling it maybe. So he was on 2 command points. He's now on 1. I think he forgot to just add on his 1 for the turn.
Considering a reroll, I don't know whether he used a command point to run something. Maybe.
No. It looked to me like he was about to spend 1 command point.
Oh, yeah, he's got 2 command points.
Yeah. Okay, so he's got 2, and he's thinking about spending 1. I'm just seeing his hand. Nice. We've also got it on the stream. We've got a big command point UI. So nice, and you almost spelt it right. I love it. I don't think it's necessarily.
Yeah, he's doing
worth a reroll, but it's so good if you get it.
No, he's not got it. Okay.
Yeah. It always feels bad to spend the CP on the 9-inch reroll because it's unlikely to go off. But sometimes when you're going to get so much mileage, like getting in turn 1 is a lot better than getting in turn 2.
Yeah, that's very true.
But I guess we're going to see the priority roll now, right? So it's 3-all, and here we go. So we are going to see priority. I believe we're going to see.
Oh, so he rolled for the knights as well. The knights to get them in as well. But
nice.
They failed.
That's the priority bell.
Yeah, priority bell. Oh, here we go. Look, the new technology.
Priority bell. So the blue hand is Luke.
Okay.
So here we go.
Luke is blue. Okay. All right. So
We should be seeing. Wait, are they rolling somewhere else?
Basil is red.
Oh no. Okay, here we are. Here we are.
Okay. So,
Okay. So we're seeing. We should see the blue dice first, because even if he rolls a 6, it's not guaranteed. Or we're doing this. All right. So blue is coming in.
Yeah. Luke's gonna roll it.
Oh, it's a 3. All right, Luke. Okay.
Oh.
So Luke has secured the priority.
I mean,
I don't think that it's a disaster for I don't think it's an immediate game over for either player on the priority.
if I was a Seraphon player, I'd be pretty happy to lose that one right there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, do you give it away? Because obviously you're going to get charged by all this stuff, fine. But you're going to get charged in your turn 3. I don't think he's scoring this objective this turn, right? I don't think he's stealing the home objective with that priority roll. He's maybe getting 2 points here, but I don't think that's that important. So what do you think? Do you think it's obviously always scarier to give it away.
I think if he gives it away, I mean, what the salamanders? What's the range on the salamanders? They're not.
I think it's 12 or something, and there's not that much room for them to move. But through all these skinks, I mean, the skinks can move forward as well.
As scary as it is, I'd probably.
I think because it's just going to get worse for you in the next turn because everything's going to be even closer. Yeah, skinks are 12, salamanders are 12, and they move 8, so 20 inches. So I don't know about these blue ones getting into the Vanguard, but you've got all your buffs up, right?
Yeah, if he takes it, he loses potentially his buffs, right? Because he doesn't have to reroll saves, right?
And Luke loses his buffs if he gives it away as well, right?
Yeah.
You give Luke another chance, and he's now not in range of the War Shrine. Because he's not in range of the War Shrine, I think you do give it away. You basically are stripping the Vanguard of 3 buffs that they can't get back this turn. I like it. It looks like he's giving it away. Because the buffs are gone. I like that. Really brave. Always really brave to give it.
Give it away, he would be taking it. He'd be if the buffs would stay, right?
No. So the Vanguard player loses their buffs. Because
Luke's taking a third, right?
No. Oh my god, I got confused as to who won priority. I thought the Seraphon player had won the priority. See, now I think Luke maybe should have given it away because he can't get his buffs back.
Okay.
Well,
Mark's gonna jump back on.
I probably shouldn't be giving anyone any advice when I can't even tell. Owen says can't let Seraphon have a double turn. Yeah, I sort of agree with that too. Again, against shooting armies and magic armies, they pay a lot of tax for not being able to activate 2 turns in a row.
So
yeah, Mark. So I feel like here's my thoughts. Here's my hot take: is I feel like Luke did not set himself up for the best possible double turn and then took it anyways, which I disagreed with.
But the problem was, if he didn't, because the Seraphon just get stuff, he'd have a Salamander World of Hurt in his back line.
But is he not just going to have that next turn anyways? Is his situation really improving by taking this turn? He's not going to kill any Salamanders this turn.
Because of that Lodosaurus guard, he can double pile in.
Yeah, but he's not going to be. So he's not getting through all the Skinks and all the Saurus and then into the Salamanders.
He doesn't. He only has to get through all the Skinks. But I don't think he can do it.
Well, he'd also get past the Saurus guard, right? With the second piling.
He piles in 6, remember? And they got a 1-inch weapon, so it's 7 inches. They've got. So if you've got, you see that.
Yeah, and the Salamanders are 10 inches away from the thing.
That's not the closest point.
Isn't the Salamanders are 10 inches away from? Oh yeah, maybe if he comes straight through this side, then he piles in.
The southernmost bit, the bit by the tree. Is there 7 inches between that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can probably get something in, I guess. Yeah, maybe you're right. But also, he doesn't have to remove the Skinks from this side. But it looks like that's what he's going for. Is he's setting himself up for that? So now I really want the Salamanders to live, so that I can say I was right, despite being wrong about almost everything I've said up until now. So yeah, interested to see if he gets into the salamanders.
So I assume these guys are.
But he doesn't have any buffs.
No, and that's a bit of an issue. Like they do get a lot of attacks. Like
yeah, and he's going to get all 9 into the skinks. So he might just blow the skinks up here.
Bear in mind as well that the other knights are buffed, and once he charges in with the Varangard, they can't escape, so they can't do their stupid escape move on the knight. So he's going to be dealing with both the knights and the Varangard.
Yeah.
And because let's say the Varangard blow away the skinks, completely just blow them away, then the knights could just use their 3-inch pile-in to get to the second line of skinks.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot of damage.
Yeah,
also,
if he does actually, I don't know. My brain is out of control bad today. If he does kill this whole unit of 40 skinks, that presumably puts him in a reasonably better position than he would have been taking the damage from the skinks in one round of shooting. Interested to see. I'm really interested to see. I found this so far a very hard game to know what the correct plays are at all the points. So don't listen to anything.
It hasn't been easy since he. The only mistake I think we can be certain of is the initial skink positioning. Now I think they're where they should be.
Yes.
Yeah. Another problem he's got is that these guys are just. If these guys were buffed, I'd have way more confidence in them.
Yeah. I mean,
because of where he teleported them. Where he teleported them was a mistake.
Yes.
It just was.
Yeah, I was thinking. I was like, it's one of those situations where you're like, I wish I'd failed the dice roll so that I wouldn't have had the teleport available to me.
I wasn't expecting that teleport to get off either.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's almost what I mean. Is like you're sort of betrayed by your own good luck. But yeah, 9 Varangard. Right, you're still looking at 840 points of damage into skinks. Like, how many of these are going to be alive? Let's even run some maths. What weapon they have ensorcelled weapons, right?
Yes, they do. No, I don't actually know because me and Luke have been discussing Varangards pretty extensively.
Oh yeah, you told him to take the worst weapons, right?
No, he told me to take the worst weapon.
Oh yes, so I think he's got ensorcelled blade
models with the worst weapon on them. Then he was like, "Oh yeah, I did the math wrong."
Yeah, that's
like, okay.
So let's.
At that point,
So he's got 9 models, 6 attacks, 3 threes.
It's not a big difference, but it is a difference.
And 6 is to wound or a mortal wound.
6 is to wound, a +1 damage.
+1 damage.
And that's a Nurgle thing. So it's the difference is that with ensorcelled weapons you get lots of 1 damage attacks, but you get more chances to get those 6s to wound, which is double damage. Which I think where Luke's bad maths came in.
Luke had me simulate it on ageofsigmulator.com.
Ageofsigmulator.com.
Which is what we're running. What I'm looking at now. So it's 9 Varangard without any buffs, 2 damage on 6s to wound. You're looking at about a 70% chance to do 18 or more wounds. So average damage is like 20. So you're not obliterating the whole unit, but if you are hitting them with the knights as well, you're definitely neutralizing the unit, right?
You're going to obliterate them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. In order to get in, I mean, you can obviously with 2 pile-ins, he's going to remove the whole unit.
Yeah,
depending on what exactly is he can get in range to, but. The unit is going to be useless after this turn for sure, but it's just a question of whether he can completely destroy it in order to get into the juicy stuff.
Yeah.
That's the question here.
Just asking if the Vanguard are ensorcelled. This is like before or after the bad maths.
Yeah, exactly. Players are probably discussing something.
Yeah, Luke's been very cagey about this because even taking the turn, he was very unsure.
Yeah, it seemed like a very hard game to figure out.
It was. It totally was. I don't know. Like, Luke was considering giving the turn away, and I can understand why he would have done that.
I think the thing, if I was the Seraphon player and I'd 1 priority, I would give the turn away because you're losing all the buffs off the Varangard,
Yeah,
And
you're right.
I feel like you're improving your situation because you're not gonna kill the Vanguard with your skink shooting, right?
What I think would have happened though is you would have got that salamander in your back line if you were Luke, and you probably would have lost a Chaos Sorcerer Lord.
But the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, what's he doing anyways? What's he doing anyways? He's over here.
He's he's your buff piece, isn't he?
I know. I'm just saying that like he can't buff the Vanguard. He can buff the Knights with reroll saves and reroll wounds. But I'm like, would if I were Luke, I'd be very happy to trade 3 Salamanders for 1 Sorcerer Lord.
You're right, actually. You know what? I think you're right.
But again, like I think there are really good arguments for both, and I definitely don't think sometimes you see this and you're like, I think this was just a mistake. But I'm just watching this and I think like there's a lot of tough decisions to make, and it's really hard to know what the sort of best is. And sometimes the best is not distinguishable from just we need to roll the dice and see, and the dice are going to be more important than which of these 2 close decisions you made.
Now Luke's changing his mind again.
Seems to be a bit of a theme in this game.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
This is the game that we're definitely finishing in 3 hours.
Oh yeah, totally 3 hours.
Narrator. The narrator comes in. They did not finish. No, but again, I think these first turns, when like the engagement, that's really hard. Everyone wants to make sure they do it right. Once everything's in and the blasting starts, I think the game will be pretty quick. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, not having the buffs. But we saw, you're doing 20 damage in that first. The thing is, yeah, with the buffs, you are probably doing almost double that damage, and then you are killing the whole unit in 1 turn. So it is hard to say exactly what's right. This is also, though, why we were saying, and we talked again about being aggressive rather than defensive. Imagine if he'd won this turn when he had his whole army in a death ball right in the middle. I don't think he was that much worse off versus losing priority. I guess the Salamander, it depends on maybe I'm underestimating the Salamander output. Maybe that's really what's going on here.
Yeah, maybe I'm overestimating it.
Together we are very wrong.
Yes, I think I think I'm remembering a time when they were like 80 points each or something.
Yes, yeah.
And yeah, people were just spamming them left, right, and center.
I like these salamander models. They look scary.
They are. So Luke's moved them back there. How far have they moved now? That isn't a teleport, is it?
The Marauders.
Oh no, I guess no. I'm talking about the Vanguard, like where they were originally. I guess that's.
Oh no, yeah, I think they No, yeah, they definitely moved. Yeah, sorry, they teleported the last turn. Yeah, this is spooky. This is spooky. I mean, anyways, we're gonna find out really soon what this game's gonna look like, right? We're gonna see all these charges. We're gonna see how many skinks actually die, and then we're gonna see what the counter swing is like.
Just a thought, actually. Something I hadn't thought of. The Chaos Knights can't actually charge here without the skinks doing their little runaway.
Why?
Because the only reason they couldn't was because they were locked in combat with the Vanguard. But that hasn't happened yet.
Well, yeah, but surely he just charges the Vanguard first.
He can't. He ran.
Oh. Mark Brooks, local genius, strikes again. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. That's what is known as an oops.
So I mean, again, how the retreat? Can he even retreat? Right? If the Knights charge, can he get out of 3? It doesn't look like he can to me.
What do you mean get out 3 of the Knights? Yeah, maybe he can't actually. Right? Yeah. If he was to.
He has to move everything. He has to not have any units left within 3 of any enemies.
Yeah, they're so close together. You're probably right. They can't get out.
Maybe they can. Maybe you can, because they get to move 8, right? So maybe there's some weird shenanigans they can do. But
Luke's got to be very careful here where he charges.
Yeah, you're totally correct.
He could really mess this up.
But I mean, these skinks are about to get. I mean, actually. Yeah, if he does charge these knights more to the right side, and he gives the skinks a window, because these skinks can actually go around these Saurus, and they can be base to base with the Saurus on either side and still be in coherency. And they get an 8-inch move, so they could actually get out of 6 of the Vanguard, which would be, I wonder if that would be a game-ending disaster. If Luke takes this turn and then doesn't get to pile in with the Vanguard, that would be, critics would describe that as a situation.
That would be a situation, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's a technical term.
Waiting for the carnage. Sun Minister. Sun Minister without a T. But yeah, waiting for the carnage. Yeah, we all are. Sorry for butchering your name. Waiting for the carnage. But yeah, if the knights charge in, or imagine he charges the War Shrine first, and just everything runs away.
That would be really dumb. I think he's safe if he charges the knights in first and
spreads them. Yeah.
Puts them over to the right so that they can't, because they got to get outside 3 inches.
Yeah,
I don't know if they physically can do that in between the.
Well, the thing is, the thing is, they can sort of split up out of coherency as long as they finish back in coherency. So if they can get into this gap, you see the gap between the Saurus and the Salamanders. If they sort of come from both sides into that gap, it could happen. I actually want to see it to happen just because of the drama.
That would be drama-esque, wouldn't it?
But yeah, very interested to see. Very, very
Please
interested
don't
to
charge with
see.
the shrine first, Luke, because that would be embarrassing.
Yes, do it.
Don't do it, Luke.
Do it. Oh, apparently, I've messed up the turn counter on the stream. It is turn 2.
Looks like he's doing multi-charges. The order's pretty critical here.
Do it. Mess up the charges and lose the game. Do it for the stream. Do it for the viewers.
I'm going to ask what first. I hope they don't know what's going on.
Give the people what they want. I mean, actually, I think what everybody wants is to see the skinks get slaughtered.
Yeah, I think everyone wants the Seraphon dead, let's be fair. But
we're completely impartial here in the commentary booth, as everybody I'm sure has noticed.
Who honestly likes Sarah? Who honestly thinks, I know, let's go for that plucky underdog, the Seraphon? Absolutely no one.
I think
and if you do, well, I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
It is one of those things as well where the addition of a dice roll really does make it. It makes it so much feel so, like when it's just like, okay, I teleport. I played Change Host. Sorry for anyone who's.
So the knights are going in.
Oh. All right, this is so important.
Luke, mate, buddy.
Now, but also, it's not just that, right? The Seraphon player also does need to see that he can.
But that is not where they should.
Ooh, this is not. This is not right.
That is.
This is not it. This ain't it.
This ain't. Although, having said that, are the skinks wholly within 18 of the slab?
Yes, they are. We measured it before.
Oh my god. I think that's a mistake there, but obviously he's got to notice that, and obviously I've got to be reading this situation.
The thing
correctly,
is, if you're playing Fangs of Sotek, right, you're just waiting for this all day. You're waiting to get charged, and you're like, oh, you charged? Okay, because even if he doesn't retreat, he wants to shoot. Oh, the other thing is he does need to roll a 4+ to get out of dodge.
There's that as well, yeah.
So we're maybe just we just spent 10 minutes talking about this to see a 3 rolled. But he obviously can't be within 3. Yeah, I think.
Hold on a second. I might have got this all wrong. After you've used at the end of the enemy charge phase.
That's fine. That's still fine because the Vanguard can't pile in till the combat phase.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it's still the same situation.
I'm not going to mention that then. Yeah. It's the same situation.
Exciting times. This is the drama that you come to WargamerOnline to see.
He's deciding whether to use skink ability. I'm going to say end of phase. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, he's only got 18 command points or something. Oh, he's actually only got 3.
It's like only 3 command points left.
And he's going to get like 5 again next turn.
Yeah,
do it.
Because Seraphon.
Do it.
Yeah.
Get everything out of 3. Get out of 6 inches and just. Yeah, I mean, I'm on neither team's side. I'm just rooting for the drama, for the in-game drama. I always hope that Croak gets punched in his face every game.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we do.
So I think what we're rooting for at the moment is, it looks like it's going off now.
So the shooting is coming in.
But that isn't the wrong part. If he's going to.
Well, maybe there's no more charges. It would only be the War Shrine, though.
Oh, it's been FAQ'd apparently. Shows
Oh,
what I
so
know.
it. Oh yeah, they had to
Now.
change it because at the end of the charge phase was more broken for some reason because you could do some other thing. Oh, maybe Luke's waiting to bring on this third war shrine that's off the edge of the table. Okay, let's see it. So first we'll see the shooting. Boring. Definitely boo to shooting. We can all boo shooting.
Absolutely. Shooting is very uninteractive unless it comes out of a Storm Fiend. Which
Yeah,
is a mutated
yeah.
with guns attached to it.
So here we go. Here comes some bonks. I think he's
Big
got
difference.
reroll one
I
still.
think he
Yeah.
has as well. Here they come. So
And-
it's 5s. It depends what he's targeting. I think he's going to have.
Oh, he's just hitting on
-1 to
6.
hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, -1 to hit. So it's
one mortal wound.
and 2 normal wounds.
This is what I've often seen from Seraphon is like the skink shooting. There's a lot of it, but it's not. They can shoot twice maybe or something. I don't know, but it's not that.
So that really doesn't do all that much damage, but that is not what we're excited about.
No. Okay, here we go.
We're
Show me the
excited
4
about-
plus. Show me the 4. It's a 1. It doesn't matter.
Is that-
It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Luke tried to lose the game all by himself, and it didn't matter.
You are a lucky son of a gun, Luke.
Oh wait, or did it? He just moved 1 skink. So now I'm gonna start measuring. Now that that's gone, could he have gotten? So this skink would have had to go 8 inches. Yeah, he could have easily gotten out of 6-inch pylon rain and 3 inches. This skink could have gone here, and the whole line would have moved into the overgrown terrain. I wonder if Luke knows how lucky he got. Escape that. Oh wait, no, he is moving.
They're moving. What are they?
Yep, and they are going to be outside of 3.
But why
So
can't he?
Wait.
Move.
He's not going to get out of 6. He needs to get out of 6 of the The knights are going to get to hit him anyways. Being more than 3 from the knights doesn't matter because if you charge, you get to pile in no matter what.
Yeah.
But why? He needs to move everything not backwards. He needs to move everything 8 inches to the right, to the left. Everything you own in a box to the left. Please, skinks, run! Flee! This is it. I hyped this up so much.
I think the problem is the fact that the Saurus are kind of in the way.
No, look. If you look at like this skink, right? This is the most egregious skink.
Yeah.
He's 8 inches away from the end of the Saurus.
Can he break coherency like that?
Yeah, as long as you finish in coherency, it's fine. So if everything just moved 8 inches left,
I think that's fine.
yeah, it definitely is fine. Like the only so this skink would go 8 here, and they'd be within 1 inch on the end of the Saurus. But he's actually just moving backwards, which doesn't achieve anything because the knights can still pile in. Because the knights can pile in because they charged, and they've got at least a 1 inch reach. No.
Yeah.
No. Would the guard still be within 6? Yeah, but the Varangard can only pile in 6 if they're within 3.
Yeah.
Boo. Everyone's just booing in chat. I don't know who's booing what, but I love the energy. People are hyped. It's provocative.
I think this is a mistake.
I think this is maybe he had an opportunity to maybe win the game.
Yeah.
This is the sort of thing where I feel actually so bad about it, I maybe won't even mention it at the end of the game.
I'm gonna keep quiet a little bit on the stream game because it's like, I hope he is.
No. I mean, I think he just didn't. He's maybe forgotten that there's Vanguard pile in 6.
Only within 3. You can only. This is the key thing. No. He doesn't actually have to. He can pile in 6 anyway. He doesn't have to be within 3.
Oh yeah, it's only the second pile in that requires you to.
That's only the second one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. So he would always be within 6 of the Saurus.
So he's always getting to the Saurus, but he'd do absolutely no damage to
Yeah,
him
he would do.
whatsoever.
Yeah, and he'd also wouldn't do anything to the skinks until the second pile in.
This is still a big mistake.
Yes, John Boy, sorry. I have just added the 6-inch pile-in rule to the list of things I've gotten wrong this game. But yeah.
He's moving it now.
But it doesn't. I mean, actually, I guess he'll get some of them out of the range. But also, being 7 inches away does not help you because they've got a 1 inch reach on their weapons.
Yeah,
I guess
you need to get because they.
7.4. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
No, he's got to be outside 6. That's all you have to be. then they
No,
can't.
yeah, but they can always pile into the Saurus, which is what John Boy said.
Yeah, but who cares? Who cares if he kills 3 Saurus Guard?
Oh, well, what I mean is that these guys can still move 6. As long as they finish closer to the Saurus, they can still hit the Skinks.
Yeah.
But I think he did miss the opportunity on this line of Skinks at the end, because they could have just gone... I think he didn't realize he could have broken coherency while he moved, to move around the Saurus, and then finished in coherency.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's missed here.
That.
Well, sometimes these, like... I think there's a lot of rules in Age of Sigmar. One of the reasons it's a super cool game is there's simple rules, but that have very interesting interactions. I had a cool game at a tournament that I won with no... I definitely didn't deserve to win it. I had no right winning it, at least, but where you couldn't hold an objective by retreating, but you could hold the objective and retreat and still be holding it, as long as you were holding it, both at the start and the end of your retreat. And that allowed me to hold the objective even by retreating. And sort of like, there's a lot of little nuanced rules in Age of Sigmar that they come into play at times like this. Like, he's going to expose a lot more frontage to the Vanguard than he needs to, because he sort of wrapped these Saurus. Also, these are the 5 Saurus that I wanted to be over on this objective.
And I agree with you. I think they should be over there. I think they
would have gotten 2 points, and now they've cost you your Skinks, right? I mean, sort of by accident, but they still have. So, yeah. Oh, and it looks like the Marauders have also made a charge.
Because of course they're going to make a charge.
Yeah, that's true. Obviously, they go a million miles. But yeah, I mean, this is...
They charged 11, however, cannot fly.
So they're sort of going... I guess maybe we're just losing a couple inches going up and down across the corner of the
as long as the closest one was within 11, then that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they'll still, because they got 3-inch piling, so that's fine. They'll be all right. I do think, however, this is going to be a very much a wasted turn from Luke Morton.
Could have been a lot worse.
Which I think he's going to achieve absolutely nothing here. Like, these Marauders aren't going to do enough, because I think that's the 11, the move we just saw there.
Okay, so they're not all getting in, even with the pile-in.
The only thing that is buffed
is the Knight. And they will all be getting in, though.
Are they within?
Oh wait,
3?
so they get to pile in anyways because they charged, but they've got a 2-inch reach, or is it a 1-inch on Ensorcelled?
Ensorcelled, it'll be 1 inch. So they within.
So
4?
they need. I don't know. They might actually. I think we can measure. I don't think that gives anything away. But they're just outside of 4, so this might be an actual situation.
I think this is a situation here.
This is what we were saying about playing defensively rather than aggressively. Luke wanted to be far on this side to sort of stay safer. And now what he's done is like left himself so he had to pile in instead of charge. And now these Skinks have retreated.
Oh, is he taking back the charge now?
Maybe he's a little bit flustered. But again, good news to everybody in chat. These are, again, top players playing in top armies in a tournament, in a real life tournament, and people don't mind you taking stuff back. As long as nothing's changed, I think people are pretty happy to be like, okay, you've changed your mind, that's fine.
Also, I don't think it says anywhere in the rules that if you roll the charge, you actually have to do it. So...
No, you don't. Is there anything on Luke's home objective? Says John. It's just a Chaos Sorcerer Lord at the moment, and now the Marauders have retreated back onto it. And I think, where's the Chaos Lord?
Chaos Lord, he's right at the back there. So he's going to get absolutely murked by a teleporting salamander.
Can you ping him? I literally can't find him. My brain is
he's by
way
the
too
tree.
small.
Can you see him? He's got like the death model. Your hand's right on him.
Oh, yeah, that's a Sorcerer Lord. Isn't there also a normal Lord? A double pile-in Lord?
I don't think so.
Oh, the guy who had illegal weapons last time. Is he gone?
I don't know, actually. I don't know if that was ever in the list in this one.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even realize that we changed the list from the last time.
You're probably right, to be honest.
I don't see him.
If I can find it.
So maybe I don't know anything.
Makes 2 of us.
Oh, no, here he is. He's the White King. He's in with the Marauders. Here he is. Chaos Lord, 7 wounds.
Oh, okay.
He's not that effective without the shovel, I don't think, but...
He's surprisingly hitty, but you want him with all
you really want to give him the shovel, or all 4 weapons he can possibly take.
Yeah, just give him an extra 2 hands and just pretend that, colons in the in the weapon profiles don't mean anything.
Colons are ampersands. Yeah, oh my god, I'm so sad about these skinks getting slapped, though.
Are you, though? So this must be the combat phase now.
Yeah. So the Varangard are piling in. This one's piling in backwards. Boop. Boop. Huh?
He's got next one's got his reverse lights on as well.
Just keeping an eye out, you know? Also, I mean, we're going to see 10 skinks summon next turn as well, right?
I think Luke's lost this now.
Man, it's always bad when you say that you think the person's not doing well on their turn. Yeah, he's losing so much damage here.
He's going to get stuck in this swamp of skinks.
In the lizard swamp. Shout out to the fact that in the OG Warhammer Fantasy Battle, skinks could still be steadfast in swamps and rivers.
Doesn't really apply here. They're just
I
irritating.
just really wanted to say something that was maybe right. Yeah, Adam says, so what's actually happened so far? Nothing. The Seraphon castle moved, and Luke has now hit the castle walls. We're about to see, like...
But he's hit the wall where he needed, like, a cannon, like, aimed at it. He sort of scraped it with, the shovel.
Hey,
The shovel knife.
not this again.
Yeah, I'm going there.
Where he wanted to hit it with a shovel, he's instead hit it with a normal no-rend weapon.
Normal, no range, like you'd expect a shovel to have.
And also what's scary about this is you're now doing this into the arms of a double turn. Or a possible double turn, obviously. But it's not over yet. It does look like both of the unit of Vanguard is going to eat both units of shooting from the Salamanders. But going back to what we were talking about scoring this objective on turn 1, it does look like this game now is not going to come down to who got 2 points. Because the Seraphon is not going to have trouble cleaning up objectives late game. They've got to teleport every turn for free. We're getting some damage coming out. We're getting some dice cam damage. I don't know who's fighting. I would assume it's the Vanguard, but it looks like maybe it's the Knights because it's a low number of dice, but that might just be because the Vanguard did not get that many in.
Yeah. So they are Demon Forge weapons, by the way. They're not in
Okay, they're not in Sorcerer.
They're not... Well, in Sorcerer, they're about the same. It's just you get more wounds on a 6.
Yeah, which is nice.
To hit, which is quite lovely, to be honest.
Woo.
Assume
that is a lot of 5s.
Wound rule. So that extra dice there, that blue dice, will be +1 damage.
Yep.
This is actually looking quite tasty. I don't know what skinks have.
5 up, I think. So I've got thinking they have a 6 base, and they got +1 to save over here, and they've got reroll 1s. Oh, in fact, there might be a 4 up. Yeah, they might be +1 from the reroll the 1s, or was that the damage roll? That might have been the damage. I don't know. It's impossible to keep up.
$17 dead. That is quite a lot. That's much more than I expected.
Again, those skinks did not have to die?
No, I don't think they did either. I don't know why they're there.
That wound roll was out of control though. He missed 1 wound roll.
Normally, when you see
actually, to be fair, I mean it was loads of 5s, but 5s are the same as 3s. So, but it was very solid. Yeah, only 1 miss.
So are we going to see the night? I think we're going to get like 1 night in, maybe.
There might not be any knights within 4.
So they're going to be able to move still, so we'll probably see a pile in.
Yeah, because I mean they also still sort of want to hold the objective. Did we see a command ability come out to reduce their numbers on the objective?
Well, I'll find out.
Top player gaming summed up.
When you use that command ability,
I think it's at the end of the charge phase, right?
It's at the end of the charge phase. He did use it.
Cool. I don't think it's going to matter, right? He's going to win the objective probably anyways.
Well, he will now, certainly. 27 skinks don't count. Yeah, so that's to be fair, that is really positive. That means he's got this objective, and as he's taken the first turn, that's when you want to use that command ability, because it will account for this turn and his opponent's turn. So this objective here on the left-hand side, as we look at it, is Luke's now.
I think
As
it's
is-
as in the one with the Vanguard on it. It's my right-hand
Yes.
side.
Your right-hand side. That one is now Luke's. As is his own objective. I'm fairly sure he's going to keep that unless the salamanders come in and make a 9-inch charge. Not impossible.
Again, this is
unlikely.
why you sort of wanted something over here. So this really feels like right. You've lost 17 skinks that you did not need to lose. But killing 17 skinks is not what Luke wanted from this turn out of 80.
No.
You know, we were talking about putting this whole unit of skinks in the ground, and then what are we killing on the second pile-in? So it's a lot of damage, and I think we said we're like, this unit is going to be neutralized at the end of the turn, but it's sad because none of these skinks had to die. Ooh.
Why have those skinks appeared there as well?
Which skinks, sorry?
The ones up there, or they were always there, weren't they?
I don't know. These ones.
No. Sorry, I'm just imagining things. I thought that the
All right, we're getting a second pile-in now.
Are they actually activating it again to kill him?
Yeah.
See, that is such a useful ability, that double pile-in. I don't think you want to be using it on 20 skinks.
No, I don't think you do. Because what do you know, the skinks don't score the objective. I mean, I don't know.
So, as we said earlier, the skinks did 3 wounds to the Vanguard. Ugh, he's not going to be happy about that.
Well, it's because they've still got the mortals on 6s, right, are counting in both phases.
Has Luke made the mistake again? Are they wholly within 18 of that shrine? Don't know if you can check, because he can't really move them now.
Looks like they might be.
Yeah, they're inside. Yeah.
Look at that perfect measuring.
Yeah, it's all as if he planned it. Yeah. So they're fine for next time. Also, if he lost another one, then they definitely would be.
Yeah. It's gonna. All right, so some more skinks are dying. Oh, I think some skinks killed themselves. Because 6s to wound against Nurgle, against this plague-touched warband, do a mortal wound back to you.
So is that 20? Yeah, there's 20 that are dead at the moment.
So it's going to be interesting. He also needs to make sure he remains within 12 inches of his general so that he can Inspiring Presence these guys, unless he's just committed to them.
It's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, unless he's just committed to them all dying.
So, all I'm going to say is thank goodness he doesn't get a third turn, otherwise he might be in trouble. But other than that, I think he's fine.
I love it. So 20.
20 battle shock. I don't know why they needed 2 counters for that. Okay.
But so, did we not get any damage from the Vanguard on the second pile-in? It's been a hard game to keep up with. There's a lot of micro decisions.
It's a lot of It's a lot. I'll tell you what it is. It's a lot of going. Oops. I'm just going to do that again. Yeah. Oops. Actually. Yeah. And a lot of undecisiveness because it's a difficult game.
Yeah. It is a very difficult game.
It's a difficult game. It's better, like, as much as I like to rag on him, especially for Luke, it is so his game to lose. Like, he's really got to make one big mistake and he's out. He might have already made that, to be honest, when he teleported those Vanguard. That could have been it. And unfortunately, that is the difference in the power level there. If you make that mistake, that might be it. That might be all it takes.
Yeah, it's always hard to tell. It's always hard to tell.
He's going in for the second pile-in, so he's going to be using that.
I assume we just take all the skinks off right here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that all the skinks are going to die then.
Like, he's got more attacks than he did the first time. He rolled reasonably hot.
That's not nothing.
Yeah. I guess, there's the chance that he low rolls.
So, because this is going to be a big problem for Basil to deal with now, actually, because he's got this big block of Vanguard here. Let's say he kills all these skinks in the double pile-in, which I assume he does. Do you just pump the Vanguard then? What do you mean pump them? Pump them with what?
You got 40 skinks and you've got 2 units of salamanders. I presume. Like, because what do you do instead, right? I don't think you win by spreading out and taking out these little units and getting charged by the Varangard again.
I forgot they were unbuffed. So they're...
Yeah.
I'm used to Varangard being a 2-up.
Yeah, 2-up rerollable.
They are not. They are not that.
They're just the 3-up.
Save. And they've got a 6-up after save, which is nice. But, yeah, I think... As you put it, they could get just pumped full of salamander at the moment.
I think that's what you have to do. I don't think it's great. It's not you don't. In general, you want to avoid having to deal with the Varangard, but I don't think there's an option where you start killing the other stuff and let yourself get hit again by 20 Varangard.
It's the problem he's got is he can't retreat. So those Saurus Guard there.
I mean the Saurus these Saurus were compromised from turn 1. It's a sad story.
So they're going to get targeted in your own phase, and there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah, they're dead.
Maybe you can teleport them. Actually, is there any restriction on that?
No, yeah, you could probably teleport them out of combat. That's nice. You might need to teleport something else.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that would stop you getting, let's say, for instance, the blue salamanders behind the Sorcerer Lord, which is probably where you want.
Yeah,
right. The skinks are gone from that double.
Yeah, I think
there's absolute.
The thing about telling the Saurus Guard is like, okay, you teleport them and save them, I guess. But like, where are you putting them? That's really good. I guess you screen with them, and that's fine because the double piling is gone at least until those Chaos Sorcerer Lord, like the normal Chaos Lord over here, runs across.
So is Croak within 16 of those?
No, I think they measured it very specifically, so it was out. I won't measure it now, but I believe I saw them measuring.
Okay, maybe not Luke's.
And 16 also doesn't matter because he can't summon the Balewind where he is right now.
Yeah, they agreed that at the start, which is, to be fair, how you should do it in a sort of high level game like this.
Agreed.
You decide you have the argument before the dice roll, basically.
Yeah,
it makes your life a lot easier.
So that whole unit of 40 skinks should still be alive.
Yeah, I won't think we'll talk to him after, but yeah, I still feel they could have got away.
Yeah, I mean, we measured it. They could have. I think he maybe just didn't realize he could break coherency while he moved.
Yeah.
Oh wait, where's the Saurus? Are the Saurus dead?
I think they might be attacking.
2 of them are dead. Did they kill themselves?
Oh, and they also. I think what might have happened is that they might have been able to split attacks.
Yeah. Just put some extra.
Skink bases aren't very big.
No, 25 millimeters, so smaller than the 1-inch reach.
So yeah, they probably could hit them over the top of it. Now they're going to hit the Varangard back, which is probably going to do more damage to them.
Yeah.
Coalesce though, which is what we're.
They're Starborn. They're Starborn.
So they're going to be Bravery 10.
Yeah. So they won't run away, but
yeah, they'll be fine.
But they're also not going to do very much. 3 Saurus Guard. They're just there to fill battle line tags. But yeah, that's painful. I mean, there maybe is some reason we don't know about that he couldn't pilinate away, but as far as I can tell, he could have avoided that completely. Or at least, 50% of that damage.
So, in that turn, he's lost all the skinks. Well, all the skinks. Okay, he's lost.
Well, that's like what we were talking about before this turn was that he was going to lose all the skinks, and then what else would he lose?
Yeah.
So, losing your 40 skink screen, I mean, he didn't have to, but let's pretend he'd failed the roll and he couldn't have moved, right? Because that could have happened too. That's got to be what you can't play around guaranteeing you get that 4-up. So, this has to be the situation you more or less plan for, right? You lose your outside screen to the Varangard coming in. Now, so, you sort of got to be set up for this. But this is, everyone says Seraphon are really good, and I do believe them. But whenever I watch Seraphon games, I mean, I'm interested to see how this one goes. This is kind of what they look like.
It does look like a very fragile center.
Yeah, and like skinks aren't great. Like, yeah, okay, he shot them all with the skinks. He did 1 wound with 80 shots, mortal wounds, all the buffs.
Yeah, it's the -1 to hit from shooting. I think. So,
okay, so double the damage. He would have done 2 damage.
Yeah. I think what we're going to see in the next turn is. I think this guy's going to take the bait and go for all the Varangard and bounce them.
I don't think he's. Do you bounce if you shoot with all the buffs and stuff?
I think you do.
Maybe you
need
do.
Both units of salamanders.
Yeah, they go to 20-inch range. They go to 20-inch range.
I think what you need to do with those salamanders is be going for the away objective. That's how you win the game. Is by getting those salamanders at the back here.
Do you? Right. So let's say you take your salamanders, you put them on this home objective, right? You're not going to score it. You're not going to score it this turn unless you get the double. And then
that's what I'm saying. Like, as soon as he gets the double down there, he's got that objective and he's won.
No, because he's just going to lose his home objective on the next turn. He can't defend his home objective at all. The Vanguard are going to smash the 40 skinks on the next turn. And then once the 40 skinks are gone, it's over, right? You're never holding your home objective again. I don't think there's a way where he comes out of this alive without killing the Vanguard.
Okay.
Like how do you protect your castle?
Has Croak got another load of Temple Guard to help shield him? This gives him a 2-up save, by the way.
No, he doesn't have any Temple Guard. There's no Temple Guard. He's got the Astrolith Bearer, who gives him, I think, another... maybe it doesn't stack anymore. But I think the Astrolith Bearer can take wounds for him. I'm not sure.
Interesting. Well, I think I'm going to swap with Fabian now.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can hold this even if the bunker breaks. It's just me. Just by myself. Just looking at Discord. Everyone's in the other channel. 4 people there. 1 person here. Living a sad, lonely life. Not even playing Warhammer. Just looking at other people playing Warhammer.
Yo.
Yay! I'm not on my own anymore.
Your boy's back.
Alright, Fabian, this game has been super fun because it's been pretty contentious about what any of the good plays are. So, what do you do if you're the Seraphon player this turn?
Well, he's measuring up to the War Shrine. I think we were talking. Well, I say talking. I'm talking to myself in my head.
So Luke scored. Sorry, Luke scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points that turn.
Yeah. So the Seraphon have to go for the Vanguard this turn. And
yes, I said that. Mark said to ignore them, which is often a good idea. I'm glad I've now got one person who agrees with me, so that I feel smarter until I see him do it and not work out. But sorry, carry on.
So there's been one mistake has been made so far this game, which I don't know whether he's going to get away with it or he's going to blow him away, or he's going to get away with it. What Luke's done is he's gone to the far right hand side with the teleport, and I think getting off the teleport has been a bit of a rush of blood to his head. I think what he should have done was move the even teleport 9 inches away in with the war shrines on either side and being able to get the Vanguard reroll saves. Because what I think is going to happen now, unfortunately...
Yeah, because they're not buffed.
Yeah, also, I think what's going to happen now is the Salamanders and everything else are all going to go into the Vanguard.
Yes,
I think.
That's what I think.
And I think if he rolls particularly well, the Vanguard could melt here. So
yeah, at least have a lot of the threat taken away. So I don't know if anyone said anything, but when he retreated the Skinks in the charge phase, he could have retreated around the Saurus Guard and gotten all of his Skinks. He could have broken coherency and then reformed coherency at the end of the move and had no Skinks in range.
Yeah,
of the Vanguard.
Strange.
So I guess maybe he just didn't see it.
I think what he's thinking was that he could pile in into the Saurus and then go from there. Maybe I don't know.
He would have with a double pile in. He could have gotten into some, but he would have only gotten 1 pile into the Skinks instead of 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think maybe he just didn't know that he could break coherency during the move and reform afterwards.
Yeah, potentially. I think this is what I'm talking about, though. With the pressure straight away, people tend to make mistakes, and
it's hard. It's like, I mean, everyone has heard us talking about it. Like, there've been a lot of turns and a lot of decisions in each one that have been not easy, to at least like not an obvious decision. I think this turn is maybe the more obvious one, where I feel like if he doesn't deal with the Vanguard, they're just going to wipe him out.
Yeah, I think so. And this is what I was talking about that the Vanguard had to do. I think they had to push forward, claim 3 out of the 4 objectives.
Yep.
And
remain buffed.
Have the Vanguard as you either need to take them off or you lose this game because they go in and
you want them on that 2-up rerolling ones.
Yeah, exactly. 2-up rerolling ones and 6
or just 2-up rerolling everything, isn't it? Yeah, 2-up.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like
I feel like now you've got an easy decision. It's not a good place to be as a Seraphon player, but I think you do have an easy decision of you just open fire. You just start blasting on the
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. And I feel like if Luke could have potentially pinned the lizards in maybe for another turn back where they are right now, if he'd positioned the Vanguard, slightly different.
Now, can Croak teleport himself? Could he teleport himself so that he then would have room to summon the Balewind?
At the end of the movement phase, though, right?
Oh yeah, so at the end of the movement phase, so it does not matter for casting spells.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple of mistakes. One was the Balewind, which we talked about beforehand, and then I think just a slight positional aspect with regards to Luke's with the buffs. But I think the Balewind might be more important than the positional with the buffs for the Vanguard.
I guess I think, to be honest, you're going to take more physical damage than magic damage.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You want 2-up and, more importantly, re-rolling your saves versus the high-rend, high-damage attacks, right? It only takes 2 salamander shots to kill a Vanguard.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you
get lucky.
What's interesting about this game is that both the Vanguard and the salamanders are like high-quality attacks rather than a massive attacks. So getting a good dice roll or a bad dice roll has a big effect on the output. If you're sort of shooting with, 20 Thunderers with a Triumph, you can sort of the damage is almost always going to be near the average. Whereas with only 3 Salamanders, or with in that last round when there are only 3 Vanguard getting into combat or something, like the variance is quite a bit higher.
Yeah, so I've played this matchup beforehand, and my Vanguard, I only had 6 Vanguard, and they melted.
Yeah.
Now, if I'd have had 3 more Vanguard, I think I could have done a lot more damage to the Seraphon arm. If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
9 Vanguard is still a lot, even though he's got 2 units of Salamanders and those Skinks going potentially into it. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's probably more a question of, can he neutralize them? I'm not sure you can kill all of them, but more a question of, can he neutralize them so that they're not the automatic one-shot threat that they are right now.
Yeah, I think a lot needs to go the Seraphon's way this turn, particularly.
Well, he still has a second turn, right? Like, there's a world where he only kills 4 Vanguard. Yeah. There's a world where he just wins priority on the back of that and kills the other 4 and the game's over. So
yeah,
I agree. I think it's like something has to go his way, right? He has to roll hot with the shooting, or he has to win the priority or something, because this is critical. If he doesn't sort himself out this turn, probably going to fall behind on the objectives.
Yeah, I think so on the objectives as well, because Luke's potentially taking another 5.
Exactly.
He has to split. I mean, I think it's going to take 2 turns of both units of Salamanders and the 40 Skinks going into the Vanguard.
Definitely could be.
And that's another XY points that he's not claiming here. I mean, Luke can comfortably sit on the 5 points every turn.
Yep.
And get completely out of it. So
the only thing about that is, let's say if on turn 4 the Croak player kills all the Vanguard, he can then, or he knows he's going to kill all the Vanguard, he can then just teleport a unit onto this back objective.
Yeah, this is very true.
Seraphon has good cleanup potential. Some armies you're like, okay, I killed everything, but I can't run my Hearthguard Berserkers onto this objective for love nor money. Whereas the Seraphon is good at cleanup. So I don't know. It's hard. Like, you'd ideally at this stage you'd want to have seen more chip damage gone on to these other units, and that's why, again, I wish the Saurus Guard were on this left objective instead, so that they could at least kill some of the Chaos Warriors. But
okay, so he's got 6 faction. He's got 6 summoning points here, so he can get another 10 Skinks here.
Mm-hmm. So we have we're going to see this army it's going to be building.
He could just, I mean, if he gets that every turn, he could just put 10 Skinks in front of the Vanguard every turn.
And just keep trying to screen them. It's hard because they do move a long way. But you're right, maybe. I think there's a lot of smart plays you can make a Seraphon here, and it's hard to say which would be the best. Again, for me, I'm like, just start blasting. Put everything you can into the Vanguard and also put a screen up, obviously. But try and sort of go through the brute force approach, but that is definitely not always the best. And you know, Basil is an experienced Seraphon player, so I'm sure he's going through a lot of different scenarios in his head about what he thinks is gonna be the best option here.
I think it is tough for Basil. He's lost he's lost a big unit right there. Which
Yeah, I feel like that unit could have been kept so alive.
So Comet's Call's being cast on a 7. Luke's going to try and stop it. Fails to stop it, as probably what you would expect.
Yeah.
You might have cast it early, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like almost everything Croak's casting is D3 mortal wounds. So, and I believe Comet's Call is global, right?
Yeah. See. Let's see what he.
I don't even mind just
Sorcerer Lord beforehand.
I don't even mind just bonking some Marauders. 3 mortal wounds. Is that on the Sorcerer Lord? Yeah, it looks like it is.
Fails to stop. Let's see. Mark's going to tell us 3 mortal wounds on the Sorcerer Lord. So is he alive on 1 wound? Isn't he? I think.
He still has 3 wounds according to Luke.
Because he took. Oh no, he saved the first one.
Yeah, I was going to say, did he save it from the War Shrine?
Yeah, 2 wounds after save. Yeah, so he's got 2 wounds left.
War Shrine again. Those 6-up ward saves, they add up. And when you're taking D3 mortal wounds, like saving one of them can be a turn's life versus of difference.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. I'm gonna go. I don't know. I mean, I know the Seraphon. I know the Salamanders put out a lot of output, right? But I just don't know. I think he has to go for the double here, right?
I wonder.
What do you think, JP?
I don't know. It's hard to say. He needs to do something this turn, right? He needs to, in whatever his game plan is, either kill the Varangard or kill everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to start happening this turn. So I don't hate sort of what you said, right? You make a big bubble with this 40 skinks, and you make an inside bubble with these 10 green skinks and the 10 summoned skinks.
Yep.
And then you just shoot off all the Marauders, you shoot off all these guys, and you spread out, and you put the pressure on Varangard. But the thing about this battle plan is the objectives are not all worth equal amounts, and if he does just smash your bunker here and start taking your 4-point objective, you're just in a world of trouble.
So he's just done an Arcane Bolt on a 12.
Oof.
So 3 mortals onto the Knights.
Oh, he's going for the Knights.
Yeah, I get. Well, I suppose the Vanguard have a 5-up, right? So he's probably thinking, kill the Knights. Again, I think he's not. I think he needs to put everything into the Vanguard to kill them.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think you need to not worry about efficiency and just. But as we talked about, it's not an easy unit to get down. I don't know. Let me look. Let me see. I want to figure out the damage the Salamanders do to Vanguard. So, Salamanders, you sort of have to. Because you can charge him too.
Saves 1 to 2 damage. Mystic Shield on the Salamanders, it says.
Also reroll 1s to hit on the Salamanders.
Yep.
So Salamanders. So we're going to be if you put both in, that's 24 attacks. 3s and 3s, 2 rend, D3 damage. They're rerolling 1s. And they're doing D3 mortal wounds on a 6. So do a 3-up save. The thing is, even on average, you're only really doing 15 or so damage with that much shooting, and that's not enough, right? You killing 3 Varangard is not enough to be worth. Is that 1 unit? That's both units of Salamanders.
Both units. Okay, so 3 Varangard. So he could take out 6 Varangard and
in a double. No, it's 3 Varangard is 2 units of Salamanders shooting.
Okay, so with a double turn, he kills 6 Varangard.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And is that enough? Is that enough to then start clearing up the rest of the board?
Yeah, I think so. If he kills 6 Varangard here, he then still has his 2 units of Salamanders.
Yeah, that's true as well. And you can start and then you can teleport them with Reckless Abandon and just start blasting Marauders off.
Yeah. So I think if he absolutely goes hell for leather with both of these Salamander units and the Skinks into the Varangard, he's got a very good chance. If he splits his fire and starts focusing on other things like he's been doing with his magic phase,
I think the Knights is the worst target. If you want to shoot other stuff, then shoot these Marauders and these, like, go for the weak objectives.
Yeah.
Shooting the weak unit on the strong objective does not seem correct to me. But also, you might be just picking what's in range. But it's been a tough game. And high damage, you know? The Vanguard just came in and obliterated 40 skinks immediately. So
I'm a bit surprised I know Luke's been quite defensive with this this Chaos Lord as well.
Yeah, I was surprised as well. I would have liked to see the Chaos Lord closer for double piling, but maybe he's just thinking that the turn that he'll need it is the next turn, and he can just run the Chaos Lord into the middle of the board. And just, there it is. Looks like he's blocking off. They're measuring for some teleports.
This could be like another game where the Chaos Lord just does nothing again.
I mean, I think Luke was already saying he wants to drop him from the list immediately.
Okay, so we've got Mystic Shield and the Salamanders. Blue Salamanders have got +1 save, run, shoot, and charge. The red Salamanders have got rerolls, ones to hit. And he spent 3 CP to get +1 hit on both Salamanders and Skinks.
Ooh, +1 to hit, that's tasty. I mean, I assumed he'd do +1 to hit, and these guys are already -1 to hit, so...
Big Skinks get more wound on 6s to wound, automatically with Seraphon, and then green Skinks move 11 with run. Okay. So it looks like he's going to pump everything into the Vanguard, right?
Yeah.
And this is what I was saying, like when I had the 6 Vanguard, I had all the buffs on them.
Yeah.
And I took a double turn into them, and I still only lost 4 of the damage with me rolling like 6s to ignore mortals and 2 up with rolling save.
And he does have the 6 here. He does have the 6 up save here. Yeah. So
I mean, I made a big mistake by not double piling in into some Salamanders. But obviously Luke's, way more experienced and double piled in straight away, got that out of the way. And he would do the same thing again with the Chaos Lord. So,
yeah, exactly. Mark was saying, he was like, I'm not sure if you want the double pile-in, but you just get the most value out of it. Again, so many times coming back to playing aggressively, but you get so much mileage out of it by using it when not everyone's alive, right? That's when you're getting the most value.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like the big skink unit's going to move here now. Croak didn't do much there with the magic phase. Again, like I was saying, the Bellwind, right? The Bellwind not being able to put that down.
I'm not sure, right? If what would he have been doing? D3 mortal wounds to the Vanguard.
Yeah, I mean it chips away, right?
It does. It does.
Yeah, one of the Vanguard has taken 3 wounds as well, so it would have chipped off. One of the Vanguard. Can
he cast the Deliverance 3 times on the same target? He can. Yeah, so that actually would have been probably a big deal.
Yeah. So
because again, just killing one Vanguard is pretty big. But also, the damage that the Salamanders do is also basically the same damage they do on the shooting, they do on the charge. So this could be a very big mistake if he's going for the Knights, because these Vanguard are still going to pile in 6 inches into his Salamanders.
Yeah,
I really don't want to see him go into the Knights here.
This could be the mistake that Luke's probably looking to capitalize on, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, look at these little lizards, just crawling around.
So what I think that he might be planning to do here is to pile in charge the Knights, and then get all of that Salamander unit into that objective to take it back.
Ooh, I don't like this. This is making me nervous.
Yeah,
this is making me nervous.
See what I mean about putting pressure on sometimes, I think this is the Seraphon's game to lose, and I think
yeah, I agree. I think he had the...
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, we already saw that one opportunity to keep 40... not even just missing the fact you could break coherency, but if the Saurus Guard had been further away, he would have been totally safe from that play.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think like I said before, like getting the pressure onto sometimes players make mistakes just because they feel they have to do something.
Play aggressively. Punish your opponent. Punish their every weakness. But yeah, it is. It's hard, right? When you face multiple threats, you've got to make more decisions than when you face one threat, right?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Luke cares about the Vanguard, but at the same time, this whole game is about scoring points. Yep. So while his whole focus is on these Varangard. Like I was saying before, Luke is sitting on these objectives.
Yeah. That's, again, there's a version of this game where it was Saurus Guard sitting on that other objective, and you sort of had to fight back and forth for it. And then you can do chip damage with 10 skinks that's important. I feel like there's just a couple missed opportunities of, like, pressuring.
Yeah.
You know, I said before, it's probably not going to come down to 2 points, which it won't. But not pressuring this objective at all now means it's going to be probably 6 points scored here. But yeah, you throw stuff forward and your opponent feels pressured.
Yeah, it's just one of those, right? I mean, it takes an experienced player to be like, okay, I know what this guy's doing. I'm just going to carry on my own game plan. And we saw this was the damage also that Luke did by being just out of range of his buffs. You know, if he'd been fully buffed up and he hadn't sort of mismanaged that charge a little bit, then he would have wiped out that whole unit of skinks on the first charge and then piled into the second unit of skinks and killed half of them. So this situation could have been so much worse for Seraphon. But it also could have been so much better if those 40 skinks... He could still have 40 skinks alive, and he would be loving his situation now, because he could leave 40 skinks here as a wall and move the other 40 skinks over to threaten these 2 objectives and just clean up. Yeah, big style. Absolutely
clean up, be holding all 4 objectives and just be saying, okay, Varangard, what are you going to do about it? So he took a big hit there.
And this War Shrine, I mean, this War Shrine will happily go into these 10 skinks, no problems.
Yeah, exactly. Owen Jackson says the lack of Nurgle prayer and rerolls is huge. Yep, there's definitely a world where these... But, is it going to happen? It doesn't look like he's setting up to charge into these guys. Maybe he's setting up to because he doesn't have the space, he wants to shoot everything at the Varangard, and then he feels like he might have to charge 1 unit of Salamanders. But this doesn't look good to me. I'm feeling anxious.
Yeah, like I was saying before, like they don't have the buffs on them. So I mean, me personally, I would put both units of Salamanders
and all this. He's measuring skinks to the Varangard, so he might actually just be, you know, he might be about to pull the trigger on the Varangard, which is what I do want to see. Also, even if it's the wrong decision, I just want to see how much damage. You know, I just want to see him start pumping. Hopefully, he puts Croak somewhere he can fit the bell in now. Oh, is he going to garrison Croak?
Is he looking to move in?
That would be nutty. Go. Salamanders, go.
Yeah, we're just going to see like a crazy marauder charge into Croak and killing him.
I think if he gets the Soralit Astro Barrel, he's probably okay from the Marauders, but he does get attacks equal to models in range, so he'd be able to get like 20 attacks while he was in the garrison and attacked by Marauders. Okay, so where are these Salamanders going? Here we go. They've got a 12-inch range. I assume they're within 20. I don't want to measure it.
Like I was saying, right? I think he's.
He can also just teleport them, so he's definitely in range if he wants.
I think he's just gone. Do you know what? If I don't get this next turn, I'm going to lose horrendously to this Varangard.
Yeah.
So I think he's just gone, right, let's just shoot everything at the Varangard, and if I get the double turn, then it's potentially...
Then I'm in a good place. Yeah.
Yeah. If not, there is a world that I could see Luke coming in and potentially killing both units of Salamanders here.
Oh yeah, I mean, if let's say you low roll on the Salamanders and then you lose priority, I think you're probably done so. Because then everything's dead, and you're still like everything's dead, and you're way behind on scoring. I'm just gonna measure the gap between these 2 Chaos War Shrines just to stress the players out. Like they're like, wait, why is he measuring this 24? And I'm like, oh, 24.5 inches between the War Shrines, interesting. Yeah. So if whatever he's doing now, because he's pulling the trigger, right? If whatever he's doing now doesn't work out, he's in such a dangerous spot. But
so many more skinks, like I said.
Like a screen, nice.
10 skinks in front there.
Nope.
Okay, so
the skinks are coming at the back.
I think this is a big mistake by the Seraphon potentially, because I understand that if you're going to get the turn and you're going to screen off the Salamanders and skinks.
I mean, there's no way he screens off these red Salamanders, right?
No, of course not. I think they potentially might be going in this turn. The way that.
Oh yeah, I assume they're charging. Yeah, that's what I mean. And the blue ones are not going to get screened either because there's less than a 9-inch gap. Yeah, they're just going on to this objective. Like because he's only. I don't think there's room for them to. I don't want to measure, but I don't think there's very much room to summon them 9 inches away.
The other thing that if Luke gets the turn,
Mm-hmm.
so depending on how much damage is done on the Baron Guard, obviously he's going to be in combat with the potentially Salamanders and some other bits this turn.
Yep.
I think what the Seraphon players not realize is that Luke can retreat out of combat,
Yeah, and just still pile in.
and then he can pile in, and then you can use the Chaos Lord to double pile in again, and Croak's in a real nice position there to be getting in. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, for sure. If he zooms around here and this Chaos Lord just runs,
then he can he can double pile in.
And Croak is now out of range of the Astrolith Bearer, so he won't be getting those buffs. I mean, the Seraphon player has just been put in a bad spot, right?
Yeah.
So he really needs to rely on the dice here to prop him up and that he can really do game-ending damage.
I mean, how many models has he got here on this this home objective here at the moment? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It looks like with Croak included as well.
Not a lot. Not enough to protect him from the unmatched Conqueror's command ability. So these 10 Skinks have been teleported over here. I like this. I think this is correct. I maybe would have liked them more over here, but you're sort of just putting them in here and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be ready to threaten these other objectives if I win priority.
Yeah.
It looks like he's pretty much all in on the double turn.
I think that's the way to go. I think that's the way that the Seraphon player wins. This is double turning. I think if he doesn't get the double turn here, depending on the damage output.
If he kills 6 Varangard here, he's probably in a reasonable position. But if he doesn't do good damage and doesn't whatever, but I think he should, right? He should be able to fairly easily. Okay. What?
So we've got the blue salamander shooting here. He's also spent a command point to reroll ones as well.
Nice. And
So
they're
he's
hitting.
rerolling ones.
Yeah, but it's 3s because the Nurgle is -1 to be shot.
Oh right, yeah. That's very true.
I love. He's burned through 5 command points this turn. So all these 6s are D3 mortal wounds. So that's already 10 mortal wounds or something on average. Oh, and that's another. Oh, those were wound rolls. Yeah. So it looks like he saved 2. So it's going to be all this D3 damage. And this is only half the salamanders. Those 6s coming in clutch.
Yeah, like Luke would have been able to re-roll those 3 as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and he would have had +1 to save. So that's, what are we looking at? 6,
15,
10.
it looks like.
Yeah.
3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15
Yeah.
it looks like. Yeah, 15 on 6s.
Oh,
saved 4.
4 saves. But that's still 3 dead Varangard now. Because 1 was already injured. And that's half the shooting and none of the combat.
Yeah, he spiked pretty hard there on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we were talking about how when you have these low frequency attacks, it's a lot coming down to the dice. Now it looks like the Skinks are shooting next, and then it'll be these. Oh, he's removing them to one from out of range of the Skinks. Okay, that's smart.
So 11, right? So there's... Oh, no, it's only 2 Varangard?
I think 1 was already injured.
Yeah, 1 was on 2 wounds, and they've got 5 wounds each, and it was only...
Oh, it was only 11, so there's 1 on 1 wound.
Yeah, there's 1 on 1 wound, yeah.
Huge. It looks like there's 1 on 3. I don't know what happened. I don't know how that worked, but... Anyways, 2 Varangard down. Not a bad start, 22%.
Oh, sorry, that's my fault. Luke counts it up, doesn't he, instead of down.
Yep, Luke is griefing the stream viewers. I apologize to everybody in chat who's forced to deal with this shenaniganery. All right, here we go. So anyways, we're going to start blasting a little bit, but these guys, don't expect a lot of damage from the Skinks, but you only need to do 1 or 2 wounds to start making a big difference. Huge pile of Skink dice. Just casually mashing the +25 dice button.
34 Skinks into the Varangard.
Again, probably going to do like 2 wounds, but worth seeing.
So this is...
Last time it was 1 damage, yeah.
Oh,
ooh,
geez.
that's good though.
Are there 6 mortal wounds as well?
No, 6 is to wound the mortal wounds.
Oh, 6 is to wound. Oh, jeez. So all those miss. Okay, so we got
Yeah.
25 hits.
So we're really just hoping for 6s because there's no rend either. 1-6.
1-6. The dice gods have averaged it out.
No saves
What the
though.
hell are the saves?
No saves.
Ugh.
And no 6-up, so the dice gods giveth and the dice gods taketh away. Those all might as well have been 6s. So that's another, that's 5. So that's a whole Varangard dead and 1 still on 3 wounds.
Jeez, there's three Varangard dead. Then yeah, I mean that was pretty unlucky for the saves, right? Of 3 up, didn't it failed all of them?
Yeah. Is this the other salamanders? I would just. Oh my god.
Oh Jesus Christ! Was that? Wow.
That's so. Yeah, those were salamanders.
Oh,
Good night,
wow.
sweet prince.
Jeez.
So that's 3 damage. Oh no, that was a save. Okay, so 1 was saved. So that's another
11. It looks like 11.
Yeah.
Oh wow. He spiked so hard on these. It's crazy.
It was just to make Luke feel better about not having reroll saves. He was like, don't worry, it wouldn't have mattered. And no save, so that's 11. So that's another 2 Varangard.
2 Varangard. So what's he killed? Like 5 Varangard this turn?
Yeah, and that's without charging. I mean, it doesn't look like he's in a good position to charge, but
He's
I
got
would like
4 Varangard left. That's ridiculous. Oh,
so
wow.
we were again. There's a world where all those 6s were 2s. You know,
Exactly, right?
it's just what we were saying about when you're relying on like 6s for mortals and your sort of lowish number of attacks. Gross, says Owen Jackson's. Yeah. Sorry, I apologize that we said this stream would be safe for children when we've just shown such filth. But
Oh, Seraphon. Gee.
I mean, the only thing we can take away is that it is at least Luke that it's happening to, right? So it's so hard to know who to root for when it's Seraphon on one side and Luke on the other. But it's been really the people who are winning are us and the viewers, because it's been a really cool game to watch. Like so many difficult decisions from both players.
He had all the buffs there. I think he was still going down, right? With that.
Yeah, it was just all mortals. It was all mortals. Like he saved the 1 normal hit even on that second round of attacks.
It was ridiculous. It was like 7 on the second one, and then like 6 on the first one. So it was like 13 D3 mortals going into that just from. I mean, how many points are salamanders?
I think they're 1 point each.
No, I mean, as in like, are they what, like?
Yeah, I don't know. 120 maybe. They used to be 80.
Yeah, it's like. Can you imagine a world where there was just 80-point salamanders running around?
There are probably people in chat who experienced that world and are hoping it doesn't get brought up again.
Jesus. Wow. Just take salamanders, right? That's all you need in an army.
It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage.
Jeez.
And they do this. Their damage is just as good when they fight. It's the same profile.
Yeah.
So they can charge in here. He looks like he wants to charge the knights, maybe because he just really wants the objective. But
I mean, I definitely charged the Varangard, right? Like,
yeah, me too.
Now, right? Like,
me too. But you know, it's fair enough if you want the objective more. But right, but then the Varangard are going to pile into you. The Varangard are going to pile into you. Just charge the Varangard. Just do it.
Owen Jackson says PTSD.
PTSD.
Trigger.
Content warning: 80-point salamander. So
yeah, like
just reroll the charge.
Massive problem. Jeez.
So what's he up to? Is he just going to split the attacks?
So he's done charges.
He summoned a new unit of salamanders. Nice.
Just because they're Seraphon, they can do that.
Yeah, he's like, oh, whenever you fail a charge, by the way, you could just summon a new unit.
I think he's having a look to see.
Yeah, exactly where he could get to. So 1 could go 5 inches and be in range there. A 5.
Yeah. So
Um,
is he looking to get into the?
It looks like he wants to do both or something, or I don't. I'm not sure what he's doing here, but it looks like only 1 salamander is going to be hitting in melee, anyways. So we can sort of expect.
So if Luke gets the turn, Which is the only way that this game continues, right? Otherwise, it's.
Yeah, if Seraphon get it again, I think it's over.
Yeah.
Because we just start teleport. Like these salamanders just start. They take him to blasting town.
What does his turn look like? I'm looking in the future. So so the viewers are going for the underdogs, right? So we want Luke to win.
Yeah.
The
So
dice
Luke
roll.
wins priority, and he just goes for the early handshake play. No, I think he's okay. Right? What do? You kill these salamanders in this turn in combat, right?
Yeah.
Although a lot of the damage obviously goes onto the handlers, and then these Vanguard come over here and they kill this other one, and you basically just score another 3 rounds of these objectives, another round of these 3 objectives, and you hit these salamanders so they can't retreat. And sure, they shoot you, but like, okay, they use their last turn, and then you're just hoping you're so far ahead on objectives, and you've killed the 2 major damage threats that you're okay. I think that's probably what it looks like for Slaves to Darkness. I think he's measuring it out, and he can still only get 1 guy in. Because he can't stay in coherency, maybe, with this long. I don't know. He would, to get 2 in here would be big. But it looks like it might be a 1 or 0 situation. So
Yeah, I think he can potentially only get really one. Well, I mean, with the pile-in as well, then maybe he could probably get 2 in.
Well, he needs to stay in coherency around the Saurus. That's what's difficult.
Yeah.
But it is
Yeah,
like
I think it's gonna be tough for the Slaves of Darkness here with that spike, but
yeah, I think he can get 2 actually. If he puts this guy like base to base here, and then the other one base to base here, that's an inch gap across this. I probably shouldn't be measuring, but I think he can maintain coherency and get 2 in, or maybe not. Maybe he's changed his mind. But yeah, I mean 2 is obviously twice as much damage as 1, and we saw how much. If he spikes again with those 6s. He's just, he's going to put the...
that was literally all the buffs on them, and he spent, what did he spend? Like,
yeah, he spent 5 CP that turn.
5 CPs that turn to be able to do that. Like, so, I mean...
So that's why getting this pile in now is super important. It looks like he's only doing 1. Which seems like a mistake to me. If this salamander was here, then he would be only 1 inch gap across here. He would still be in coherency. It just seems like he really doesn't like being on both sides of that unit of Saurus. So,
yeah, I think if he hadn't have moved the skink or the salamander, the sort of skink where it is right now. Oh, okay, so he's moved it. What I think he can do is potentially pile in such a way that he might be able to get the second one in, depending.
He could have just left it here with it. So if he had the nose of this one touching here.
Yeah.
Touching the Saurus, and the nose of the other one touching the Saurus here, and then pile in, he'd be fine.
Yeah.
But
we could see the I mean the knights are going to be hitting the skinks as well, right? So we could see
this unit I expect to die of salamanders. Actually, yeah.
Right? We'll see how many wounds he can do, right? I mean
because they're not in range to be battle shocked either.
Don't forget the Vanguard don't have any buffs on them either. Like if they had the buffs on them still from being over here, they would have all the reroll.
Yeah, that's true. No buffs and only it looks like only
that kind of stuff. I mean, he can spend a command point, right, to give them reroll 1s to hit in combat, maybe.
Yeah, doesn't super seem worth it. Oh wait, maybe yes. Oh my god, this guy's so much smarter than me. So because he's piling in with these guys first.
Yep.
He's 1 going to base lock the Vanguard, so they can't pile in anywhere. And 2, he's going to expose... His Salamander can now go into... Right. It's incredible that Seraphon were able to spend 5 CP. Most armies spend that over a whole game, yeah. CP generation is one thing that's super oddly distributed across the different armies. Like, some armies just, are totally relying... Like, Flesh Eater Courts really need CP and don't get any. And then armies like Seraphon just have hella
yeah, so this is the pile-in I was talking
about.
about.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. So he's still getting 2 in. Yeah, all right. You're totally... Yeah,
pile-in I was talking about, yeah. So go straight through that guy.
The answer is that I just don't know anything about Age of Sigmar, which is something we knew coming straight in. I mean, no one should be surprised. Anyone who's just tuning in, this is not the first time I've gotten rules terribly wrong.
This is kind of your thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Now it's my thing. Now it's my thing. I spend 1 3-hour period repeatedly getting rules and strategy wrong, and now it's my thing.
Yeah, right? I mean, come on. Like, the viewers at home, they're now they're gonna have to give you a nickname now. So if we can have some nicknames for JP.
Can we roll? Yeah, can we roll Mark back onto the
getting rules wrong all the time? That would be great.
subs? Sub him off. Face mask, 5 yards. But yeah, I mean these salamanders, they might. Oh, I might have missed some dice rolling. Oh, it looks like another 2. Yeah, another 2 6s came through. It looks like.
Jeez. So all. So it's all.
So 5 is 5 wounds. Oh, he saves 1, but I think that's the 3. That I think we're still losing one. The wounded Varangard.
4 damage. It looks like.
Which is enough, yeah, to kill the wounded Varangard. 5 CP, that's rookie numbers compared to Kotal's Claw. Perfect. Even more CP. One of the things I love is Gloomspite Gits get like 12 million CP and have nothing to spend it on. You're just like, okay, I'm going to run everything on the board 6 inches.
Yeah, it is crazy the amount of CP that Seraphon get, right? Like,
yeah, and they have really good like things to spend it on.
Like Zinch get like 1.
Yeah. But like, yeah, having access to such good buffs, +1 to save, +1 to hit.
Do you know what it is, right? It's the salamanders, right? The fact that they get it in combat as well.
Yeah, it's like the salamanders. The thing that I think the thing is like, and this is GW got a lot of flack for this, but no one ever played salamanders before.
Yeah,
and so people were like, I'm sad that I can never use salamanders, and then GW buffed salamanders, and they also buffed what are the other ones, Razor Dawns, and it's like. Okay, we buffed them both, and one of them turns out to be OP. You're like, you can only be so mad. You're like, you want the meta to change. You don't want the best unit in the army to be the best unit in the army every single book. So it's like, yeah, okay, I wish salamanders were a little less overtuned, but I do think it's cool to see these new models coming out on the table, And something's always going to be the best, and people are always going to complain about it. So I don't hate it. I much prefer this than to be like, I've been playing against, Nagash and 30 Grimgas for 5 years in a row.
No, JP, you're supposed to hate them all.
This game has always been terrible, and I'm still playing it, and I still love it for no reason.
No, I mean, let everyone play with their toys, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I know that next year it's not still going to be salamanders, so I'm not super worried about it. Again, I don't want to see them on the table across from me, but there's always something. There's always a boogeyman. There must always be a Lich King.
Yeah, the salamanders. I mean, to be fair, the rest of the army is. I mean, looking at it now at what in this game, I don't mind the rest of the army.
No, and it's like even the salamanders. Yeah, they really 2 units of salamanders really did pump the Varangard. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a really high damage unit, but it's not like we're looking at the Slaves to Darkness list and like, oh, it can't do anything. Like these. It's, different armies got different things going for them, and someone's got to be the best.
I think if Luke keeps that unit centrally with the buffs on, I think he's probably still got another 2 Varangard there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, really, we just need to see the priority.
Like, being able to re-roll the... he lost 1 Varangard to just the skink firing, just from normal wounds. Mm-hmm. Like, being able to re-roll those with a 2-up save would have been 1 Varangard saved. And then another one from when he failed quite a lot of rolls from the salamanders, not just
the He failed 5. He failed 5 3-ups.
So I feel like he would have had 2 more Varangard, which would have been centrally in a more central position, and I think would have been able to. 5 Varangard are still able to go in and do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing here all the skink handlers are dead, and one of the salamanders. So. This is a cool trick for people who haven't seen it before. By removing the models in the middle, this last skink is still in range to get Inspiring Presence. So Inspiring Presence is he keeps the 2 salamanders around, and then this unit flees to Battle Shock, flees to Coherency check. So you're not too worried about that, and that's a way of protecting the high value units. Cool little trick.
The knights haven't gone yet, though, right? So.
No. So yeah, as I said, I expect these unit of salamanders to die, but I like this play is still better than not doing it.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, he's starting to take wounds off the salamanders now. So this salamander's only got 1 wound left. So he's got 4 wounds to give here on these salamanders.
Yeah, so good chance they just floppy. But again, in the event of a double turn, he's still got this healthy other unit of salamanders to just come in and start blasting the Vanguard. So we're not out of the woods yet. It's going to be, as it always is in Age of Sigmar, it's going to be an important priority role.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're correct. If Luke can get these salamanders off the board this turn, which I don't think he can potentially retreat and go into that second unit of salamanders, and then all of a sudden the Seraphon puncturing in regards to their
I mean, all three of these knights are going to kill, could have a good chance to do 4 wounds, right? This looks like Luke's rolling his blue dice. So, pretty good chance to see this explode now.
See the damage that they do back onto themselves as well.
Yeah. Looks like that's a save. Always hard to know exactly. You'd think it would be more obvious what the dice rolls were, but is this one dead?
That was Saurus Guard attacks, it looks like.
Ah, yes. So it looks like they did 1 damage.
Weapon does nothing.
Here we go. So
then we've got the knights piling in, doing their
so really, so if they do 2 wounds, that stops the inspiring presence, and then the salamander runs away for sure. Yeah.
So you just need to do 2 wounds with the horses, and I mean you do know it's going to be the horse that kills that.
Yeah, I mean I'm not even going to watch the knights attacks because it's pointless. We're going to tune back in for the horses. Here we go. There we go. 2 6s. These are 2 damage each. So yeah, any of these blue ones doesn't get saved, the unit will run away. Yeah. So also, I think that's enough to just kill the whole unit already. 6 damage. Yeah. So yeah, as we said, 1 unit of salamanders down. And again, it's just awful looking at this, if you're the Seraphon player, looking at this and thinking, how much easier would this have been if you still had another 40 skink screen?
Yeah, exactly.
You still had your 40 skinks ready here.
Red Sally's dead. I still think he's got a chance here if he wins this.
Both players are in a fine position to win the game. It's not over yet in any way. It's just the priority roll is going to be devastating because everything's committed, you know? Is this priority? Are we ringing the priority bell? Yes, he's ringing the priority bell.
Oh,
nice.
Here we go. The priority.
Here we go.
So ring that bell. So Luke's CP's for Battle Shock, so he's fine.
Okay.
And we're going to see who gets what. Here we go. We're down here now.
All right, so here we go. So the yellow dice is Seraphon, or the yellow hand is Seraphon. Yeah. So Luke is rolling a 2, a 1. That's it. That's what he needed.
Oh my god!
And now we can expect these.
He must have been dying inside when he rolled that 2, thinking he's lost it. Wow. Okay. Right. We're gonna get Mark back on now, right?
Alrighty. The 1 comes out when all you need is a 2. Actually, maybe he needed a 3, but that's it.
So you were correct about the salamanders.
Yeah, it turns out that actually 6s to mortal wound are really good if your dice only has 1s, 2s, and 6s on it.
Yeah, if you only roll 6s, they're pretty good. And yeah, good God, that was a bit of a round.
But the priority roll has kept Luke in the game.
It has, absolutely has. Skinks did absolutely nothing though.
Yeah, well, everyone talks about this. Is what I was saying before the game. Everyone talks about skink damage, and it's definitely not bad damage, but I don't know. It's not amazing. You're also saying, imagine a world where that damage had come out, but there's still a second 40-man skink screen alive.
I know.
That's the state of the game we could have been at. So, that's probably the more interesting priority roll. That's the priority roll that was a win for the viewers.
Yes.
Because
it would have been over if the
but he still didn't score this objective. So what's the score? He scored 1, so it's 4.
8-4 to Luke. But the walls are closing in on Luke a bit here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're starting to... It's a clock-watching situation. What can he do this turn?
I did warn them about the 25 minutes. So he's buffing up the Marauders by the looks of it. +1 to save and reroll wounds. If he can... I don't know. If he manages to...
I mean, he can take... He can take the 4-point objective, right?
Yeah, he could.
He just uses the CP and gets all the Marauders on there.
Yeah, and he could use the...
but he needs to charge the Vanguard to stop these skinks from retreating again. Which means...
just use their pile-in trick, and it's all stopped.
No, no, because if he piles in with the Vanguard again, if the Marauders charge before the Vanguard do...
If they charge, yeah, of course. Goodness me. Oh, I thought it was all over there.
Oh, when you saw that, when we saw the 2 come out, yeah, we thought it was all over. But really good play from both players here.
Katie Mawson making a cameo there in the background, as she often does when Luke plays. She said, "Are you losing, Luke?" And all those 6s were going off. Because Luke was making noises, let's say, when that was happening.
I was saying it's hard to pick sides when one side is Seraphon and one side is Luke, but...
yeah, it is very difficult. I've been torn this entire game.
So yeah, it looks like the Marauders are going to be coming in for a charge.
The problem is, when they get shot...
Yeah, they're just going to disappear.
They're not going to be much use when they get there. They're going to be...
Because again, shooting 5+ save Marauders is very different than shooting -1... Or they're also -1 to hit, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Play touch, yeah.
Well, no, it's -1 to hit if they're holding within 12 inches of a Nurgle hero.
Okay, so that might not be the case. I mean, the Sorcerer Lord might run out, but it could. It looks like he can still hold it there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we are running out of time, aren't we? But it looks like we'll probably know at the end of this turn.
If Luke gets all the charges off and absolutely rinses...
Right, he really just needs to kill the Salamanders.
And unfortunately, that buff, by the looks of it, didn't go off from the Chaos War Strain onto them, the one he would have been wanting. Like the +1 save, reroll wounds, he didn't get that. So that's unfortunate for him. Cause
the Vanguard.
That is really unfortunate. So how does he play this then without the skinks just legging it?
Oh, is he going to go for the other skinks?
I think he's going for the other skinks. Not entirely sure why. Also, I wasn't entirely sure why the yellow skinks appeared where they did.
Because now they can they can run onto this objective.
Can they though, with what they've got?
Well, they can also teleport onto this objective.
Do they have to be close to this land to do that? Or
maybe. I don't know.
As I'm finding out with Seraphon, it's like, yeah, you just get it.
Yeah, I mean, like I think the general idea is that he wants to use them to threaten just the backboard objectives.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure they were in an optimal position per se. Oh, give a little stretch. Oh, got to let the tension out from watching these tense priority rolls. Do you think the players would be upset if I just mashed the rewind button back to that pile in the runaway on the skinks and was like, what if we did it this way? I want to know what happens.
I'd like to think, have you ever seen the film Sliding Doors?
Yes.
Yes. So that was the scene where the doors were closing.
Yeah.
Is when the skinks piled in the wrong way. So there's another Mark, another JP in an alternate universe living out that life at the moment.
Yeah.
COVID has been cured. We're all back to normal. And those skinks were where they needed to be.
And that would be a very different... That would be a very different game now. These salamanders would be fine. This objective would be fine. You could teleport your whole block of 40 skinks even to threaten an objective.
But that's not the world we live in.
No. I mean, these skinks are still... Actually, how far away are they? I don't want to measure, but it looks like they might even be outside of charge range. They could be just over 18 inches, like out of reasonable charge range at least. The yellow skinks. The yellow skinks.
Oh, the yellow skinks. Yes.
Like they might not even be able to get a long bomb charge.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
They were so out of.
They're so
guess
far
they were
away.
put there, so they couldn't get charged by the Marauders. But yeah, they're kind of in the middle of nowhere, no use to anyone.
So maybe they could have been up on this top right, like if you reflect where they are in the vertical axis, like if they're on the other side, they'd be safe. And could also be, they would only be 9 inches away, so they could just run onto the objective, you know? But yeah, these Vanguard.
It looks like they're on the move now. So, has he made a run roll for them?
No, it looks like he's moving them just 10.
So
and now this must be a run. There must have been a run roll there.
Going to try and somehow take all 4 objectives in this one turn. I don't know how he's going to do it.
He doesn't necessarily even need all 4, right? He really just needs to kill these salamanders, and then he's fine. Like, if he kills the salamanders, how do you ever kill... How does the Seraphon ever kill anything?
Croak?
Croak doesn't do anything. D3 mortal wounds to loads of units is not what you're scared of right now.
I'm always scared of Croak.
I mean, like... What are you scared of losing to 2 times D3 mortal wounds? Not like you're gonna, like, this objective over here on the right, you're losing anyways, but you're so far ahead, right? It's 8 to 4, and at the end of this turn, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 13 to 4 with the Seraphon player having. What turn are we on? Is this turn 3 or turn 4?
This is turn 3. So the plan is for Luke to slingshot the Marauders onto the home objective with the charge, because they're going to get a ridiculous charge, and
yeah,
that gap there is definitely big enough for a Marauders to fit through. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, they can also go over the Realm Shaper engine, so.
Yeah.
So he only needs to get.
This is assuming that the salamanders die.
I mean, it doesn't even if they don't, right? Oh yeah, no, he needs them to die because he can only see. No, he doesn't need them to die, right? You command ability the skink handler unit, so they count as.
I think you'd want to do that on the skink, surely.
But there's only 3 skinks on the objective, and you're going to get more than 3 marauders on there. I mean, you can see what the charge roll is, but if you get 4 marauders onto this objective,
well, I don't know. You see, you're going to have a 3-inch pile-in from that entire unit. They're going to shift about a bit. So
I'm imagining that you roll like a 12-inch charge, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty normal for marauders. People are like, 12-inch charge.
Actually, even 12, I think you're right. I think even 12 is too far. I think they're too far away. So you're right. You probably do have to use it on the unit of skinks.
And just to shoot, this is why Luke will be kicking themselves for not quite getting that 3 up for the Varangard, because they really need it. The thing I don't know how he's going to stop is he going to charge that big unit of skinks with anything?
I presume you what would you charge it with? Only the War Shrine, which isn't really worth it. The only thing is, if you charge it with the War Shrine, you can stop the pile-ins towards your Marauders.
So the charge is coming up now. Now this is a swift turn. This is what I like to see.
Yeah. Now that they've realised they have 5 minutes to play 3 turns.
Yeah, exactly. When I mentioned that to them, Luke was like, "Oh yeah, let's go." Yeah.
I think we just call it now and say that Luke's lost. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I think that's a 10-inch charge. So we rolled a 1 and a 3.
And it's a 10-inch charge.
10-inch charge, yeah. People at home are going, but 1 plus 3 is usually 4. Yeah,
usually carry 4. The 1, divide by the mass.
Yeah,
of the
divide
sun.
by the 3. You've got to round it up. Factor in for daylight saving. Yeah.
But yeah, he does need to get 4 in. He will also get to pile in towards the closest models.
Yeah, and these skinks back here will be the closest models.
Exactly. So he should be fine for getting 4, but he will need to kill all the skink handlers.
With the Chaos War Shrine as well, I think he will. Oh, sorry, these ones here. Yeah, this could go either way. That I'm not so confident in, because he had Varangard rolling pretty well, and the Knights that were fully buffed beforehand, he doesn't have that at the moment. And if he even tries to finish a charge within half an inch of the skinks,
they're gonna shoot.
They're gonna shoot and bolt.
Yeah, they're gonna enter the blasting zone.
Yeah,
they're gonna take him to Clapham Junction, as they say.
The Clapham? Who says that? That London thing.
It's because they're gonna clap him.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
It's an old English
Rubbish.
joke. You can tell the game's been going on for long enough that it.
Pulling out the classics right now.
Yeah. Chat is completely degenerated.
I think he needs to charge this War Shrine in as well, just to make sure these green
Yeah,
sticks die.
I mean, he only got 10 minutes left, so it's only his turn. He doesn't even care.
Oh,
Just charge everything in and then tell the Seraphon player they auto lost.
Yeah, personally, I think they should call it at the end.
I think you'll know. I think you'll know. I think you'll know what the game's going to be like. Like if these 3 salamanders are all still alive, if the skinks are basically all still alive. Yo, how much of a punish have these Saurus Guard been on the wrong side?
I think they're questioning a lot of life choices at the moment, to be honest.
Like, not only is it sad face that you've conceded now 8 points on the left from having them here, you've also cost yourself 40 skinks from having them. I mean, you didn't really, but you did in terms of decision making. So, like,
and to be fair to him as well, he probably meant to teleport them, but he made that mistake with positioning the skinks.
Yeah, true. I mean,
maybe he was looking to teleport them.
Yeah, it's possible. But we don't even know if he teleported the skinks or whether he was just like, hey, wait, do you mind if I actually moved them to here? But yeah, it was 40 skinks died.
So I can tell what's going on in chat at the moment. Fabian's just put, become quite tense now.
Yeah.
That means the conversation is going on the follow. And if I do this, and then this, and then this, but then I've just won. No, you haven't.
Also, yeah, he's just... It just feels like the Seraphon player hasn't gotten anything done. Right,
Wow,
it's turn 3.
I think he managed to successfully kill... is that 2/3 of that Vanguard unit?
Yeah, but in
Pretty
3
successfully.
turns? In 3 turns?
Yeah, fair enough. In 3 turns, that's not all that.
Like, again, you could have had, these 10 skinks on this objective. These 5 Saurus over here. Like, Luke has just gotten to do whatever he wants, and the Seraphon player has been in a bubble, trying to not die, and not scoring.
You've also noticed, I don't know if you've noticed again, it can croak even some of the Bellwind from where he is at the moment.
Yeah, no, we asked that before. Probably not. It's actually, no, he can. It's within an inch, so he can move backwards and go on it. It's not right where you are.
I think Luke was looking to re-roll that charge, but not spending the CP. So this is what happens when you play a real army. You actually have to make decisions about the CPs, not just have a slan and get 5 of them a turn.
Man.
I don't know if you could tell.
I can't believe blowing 5 CP in the middle of a global pandemic?
I know. In this time, in this day and age, what is that?
In this economy?
I know. So a lot of us are onto renewable CPs at the moment. Just keep pumping it up like nobody's business.
I actually have solar-powered CPs.
Yeah. It's like 1 a turn, but, they're good CPs.
Yeah.
So 5 are on that objective. So if he doesn't charge the skinks, which I don't think he will, because that would be really dumb, he needs to kill... Well, we'll see what he needs to kill a few of these salamanders.
Oh no! All he has to do is so there's 5. So he needs to kill.
Although I've just spotted something.
What?
He's going to pile in these Vanguard onto the salamanders. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He then brings in the skinks into combat, so they get to move 3 inches towards.
Towards the closest unit. That's why I was wondering if the War Shrine was closer. Or whether he was going to charge it.
So maybe they've been measuring each skink 1 by 1 to see where they're closest to. Because all he's got to get is... Because Croak's already on it.
Yeah. So it's actually 4, yeah. So
he's going to have 2. He's going to move 2 onto there, isn't he? He just is.
The other thing that's hard is, right, it's the Marauders. They don't have to take very much damage before they start running away.
This is true.
If let's say you lose 5 to high rolling skinks,
all you do is you go first with the War Shrine, That's all you need to do with that.
Yeah. You're right.
Or, actually, no, you go first with the Marauders, obviously, because you need to move them as much as you can. Because the second the Seraphon player takes the turn,
Oh yeah,
this will be moving towards the Marauders,
Mhm.
meaning that because in the pile, one of the things I love about Age of Sigmar is the piling phase. You know, on paper, it's very
super
elegant,
important.
but in practice, it takes a lot of finesse.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen is the green unit are going to sort of surround the Marauders. So in their piling phase, they have to move towards the closest unit, the closest
which is the green skinks,
which will be the green if they move first.
Yeah.
Which is why, I do like it when a game is very impactful with its decision making. So a little decision like that will decide the entire game.
And I mean, we saw the sort of.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, we saw the reverse piling cost 40 skinks.
Exactly. That was a perfect example, wasn't it? Of
and I think it's often like, you know, maybe, you know, you're the Seraphon player, you're making tough decisions, you're remembering your rules, you don't see that one shenanigan, and you look back at the game and you're like, I don't really know what happened. Like, I don't know what I could have done differently. And sometimes it's just really just those micro decisions in the combat phase, pile-ins and stuff like that really do make a huge difference.
So the War Shrine is charged.
But it's charged with Saurus Guard.
Yeah.
I guess that's just for completeness sake.
I guess that's just to make sure those things die.
Yeah, exactly. Like just to start cleaning up. He's going to hold the objective anyways. The Knights haven't charged though, or they must be within 3 already. Yeah, they are. Another charge looks like a 7, probably whatever it was charging.
So we got 8 minutes.
Oh no,
this guy isn't going to get a turn.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should be able to know what's going to happen at the end of this turn anyways. If these salamanders are still alive, that's probably game over.
Yeah, I think that's the combat that's going to decide it, really, isn't it?
Because if the salamanders are still alive, then in turn 3, 4, and 5, Luke's going to lose his home objective completely, and these skinks should probably be able to hold and clear off the marauders. I mean, I don't know what the sort of tournament decision process is, but I think if all 3 salamanders are still alive, I would assume the Seraphon player is going to win this game.
Yeah, I'd say that. If they fluff, it's over.
But I also don't expect them to fluff.
So 9 attacks, 3s and 3s. You'd expect about 5 to get through.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
The Baron Guard now.
Yeah, so
5 to get through.
Yep.
Of those, 3 will damage, so 6 damage altogether.
Which is only killing skink handlers. Is he going to be far enough ahead on points? So he'll be on 8, 12, 16, 17 to 4? No, because 3 turns of scoring the back objective by itself is already 12 points. And I think he could almost table the Slaves to Darkness in his next turn. Maybe not, though. It's an annoying play. This is why you got to play fast. I mean, I actually feel like it's the Seraphon player who's mainly been taking more time. But yeah, you want to play fast to make sure you get all your turns in.
The thing is, though, it's difficult to play fast when you got an army which has lots and lots of little bodies.
Yeah, of course.
It's genuinely.
It's definitely. It's not. It wasn't a criticism at all of an army that plays in multiple. Like, he also plays in the combat, the magic, and the shooting phase. So it's hard. It's an issue with Age of Sigmar in general, is that as books become more complicated and, like, in a cool way, right? You get more strategy, more cool abilities. It does slow the game down, which makes it harder to complete 5 turns in 2.5 hours. And TTS is slower than real life.
Yeah, and I've never understood why.
It's faster to play practice games. It's faster to play practice games because you can just move everything as blocks. It's slower to play real games because everybody can see to 0.0 inches how far you're moving. No one has ever measured my coherency between 2 models in a block of 40 in a real game, you know? But in this, you move and someone's like, well, I can just press tab and, oh yeah, that's less than 1 inch or more than 1 inch. And it's like, okay, you can't move 7.1 inches like you would on a tabletop where you're just, you put down a 7-inch measuring stick and you move to the end of it. Like, every single model people can see to 0.0 inches how far you're moving. So I think that's basically what it is. And you can go from, like, all angles. You've just got more options, so slows you down. You're not reaching across the table, just be like, hey, move these roughly over here. Seen Knights pile in. So knights are activating first. Thesaurus probably gonna die, probably not super important to the game.
So this looks like they've completely... what combat is this?
This is just knights in the Thesaurus guide.
Oh, okay, this one doesn't matter at all.
No.
I thought that was the
Yeah, the very
Varren guard there. In which case, all the 1s and 2s I saw
Yeah.
would have been.
Now,
great,
Luke, he's a good player, Luke, so he's getting them out of his system early, you know what I mean? He's getting the low rolls out so that he can spike those 6s that the Salamanders have stored up in their reserves. So yeah, that combat has been resolved. Still 2 skinks alive, I guess. I mean 2 Saurus, sorry. Again, I can't see that mattering. Also, they'll probably die to the War Shrine. So now it's the skink Seraphon player's activation. What's he doing? The only thing he can activate is these skinks over here, who are not going to achieve very much. Kill a couple marauders. Well, there are so many dice over here. I'm going to just delete these dice. Just save our frame rate a little bit. And just for, you know, think of the environment. Okay, yeah, the Saurus are dead.
Saurus are dead.
Doesn't matter.
Alright, that's the thing that didn't matter.
So now, but also now it's also not going to matter, right? Seraphon are going to activate, and the only thing they can activate is the... Oh, I guess the Saurus... Yeah, okay. Alright, this is real money. This is playing for all the marbles.
That actually matters, yeah.
And this Vanguard has piled in backwards, as if it didn't matter at all. That's this, you know, when you're a top player like Luke Morton, you probably, you know, he's not even considering facing the right way.
So is he going to try and get these guys out of... You can't do that, Luke. There's no way you're going to be able to fit. Unless he's trying to... Is he trying to get them 3 inches away from... Yeah, I was about to say,
No. He's just trying to make sure he gets all of them into the Salamanderios. So yeah, so he needs... So for people who don't know how Salamanders work, they have 3 wounds each, but you need to... You can always take the damage on these small skink handlers first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 skink handlers, because it's 3 for each salamander. And so he will need to do 9 wounds before he even starts doing damage to the salamanders. And also, by charging the salamanders here, he does open himself up to taking that damage again. These guys are still all buffed up, +1 save, +1 to hit, run and charge. Doesn't matter here, obviously. So they do still have those buffs. They're still putting out mortal wounds. So here we go. Here comes the damage.
That's a really good roll.
Looks like a good roll. That is a terrible roll. That's the sort of roll that loses you the game. And he saves it. And he saves it.
Oh my god, is that...
Oh, he didn't save it. But... And now the horses... Whatever damage it is, it's not enough.
It's not going to be enough.
It's never enough to...
They have definitely whiffed that. You can see, you can feel the silence of...
Yeah.
Oh.
Seraphon player like, oh my god, I was never worried. I never thought I was going to... So now this objective is still the Seraphon players. These skinks can pile in closest here. They're going to get a couple more models in. The salamanders are going to get to fight, like, you know, with no punishment either. You know, they're not going to get hit back, the lizards, again, because they've already lost the handlers they lost. And for me, I think that's probably the game.
I think so.
There's no points scored here for the...
It's kind of... Well, if at any point... This is what we went back to at the beginning, JP. If the Seraphon player gets the double turn, he's won.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that's the double turn mechanic that's won in the game.
No. Well, also, he didn't... The Seraphon player hasn't won a single priority.
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's sufficient. It's sufficient but not necessary. You know, if he wins the double turn, it's so much damage most people can't recover from it. But even without it, you know, he's still so strong. And those are pretty good rolls. He'll take one mortal wound back to himself, but yeah, he's fine with that. Still on the objective. Still putting through 2d3 damage onto the... So that's what, 3, 6, 7, 8 damage onto the Vanguard, and one of them is on 4 wounds, so at least one Vanguard is dead. I think that's probably the game. I think that's where I'd call it. He didn't get the 4 points for this objective. He's only saved one.
Those Vanguard are absolutely dead now
Yeah.
at the end in next turn, because he's going to have another load of shooting come at him. The only thing I can... what can save him, really? What can save Luke? These guys are going to get swarmed.
Yeah. I mean, he's not taking this objective, and these guys are going to run away and die.
And Salamanders have absolutely nailed Luke in combat.
So yeah, I think you know, the game has to end now. Sire Denathrius is for some reason still siphoning Anima from the Shadowlands, so we can't allow that to continue. And Savage Roll, yeah. Sometimes, again, when you have these elite models fighting, you just can't rely on rolling average.
No, it was kind of a bit of a last-ditch effort.
So, yeah, I mean, we're saying that the Seraphon player has lost, but these players are going to have to decide among themselves what we think, or Tio.
Luke may have something to say about that, quite frankly.
Yeah,
but
sad.
I think he has. But the problem is, no, I can't really see Luke getting out. It's in the Seraphon player's turn. He will have to fluff absolutely everything up, and it is a dice-based game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he can teleport these salamanders anywhere and kill whatever he wants now. He doesn't have to roll to teleport them. They're going to do enough damage to do, 2 wounds to a Sorcerer Lord. Kill this one Chaos Marauder that for some reason is here.
Yep. Why is he there, guys? He's actually not bad in combat, by the way, that guy. I would have liked to see him in combat, even with his career.
Yeah, agreed. Even without 18 weapons.
Yeah, without 18 weapons, he is still a dude.
So I assume we didn't see the command point. Yeah, Luke has 0 command points, so he couldn't spend a point on Unmatched Conquerors.
No, and he desperately needs all the...
Yeah.
He needs to stifle everything he can get out of those command points, which is how it should be, by the way.
Yeah, agreed.
We just get it like...
Seraphon, just like 18 of them. Sky. This is Luke rolling again. This is into the...
So Marauders are going in for a fight now.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter. These skinks aren't getting anything done anyways. It's possible that these skinks maybe affect the outcome of the game. Like what they think. But I mean, these skinks can also just run away. And not enough of them died to really make a big difference. Oh, actually loads of them died. They're all dead. I don't know what I'm talking about. There's only one left alive.
I would have been very surprised if from Marauders and the War Shrine that they survived.
Yeah. I mean, I just saw only 2 get removed, and I was like, well, there you go. And yeah, as we said, these skinks are piling onto the objective.
Adam Mumford, I don't normally agree with you, but this time I do.
It should not take this long.
It's just difficult.
TTS is slow. That's the thing. In a real life game, you also just... I don't know, it's just different. You also have like the feeling of everybody around you speeding up, and you're like, people talking, people milling around. In TTS, you're just sitting there looking at a screen. You're not even standing up. So like, you don't even feel the pressure from your own body to be like, yo, wrap this up. If you're a Seraphon player with 40 skinks, your lower back is given out halfway through turn 1, so is your lower brain from the amount of models. Oh wait, I love it. We got skinks coming in to hit here. But...
Oh good. Oh, this is actually quite important because these guys can't retreat.
Yeah, they can just teleport. They can just teleport away though.
Oh, they can teleport away.
Yeah, you can just teleport them out.
Where are they going to go though?
Oh, just somewhere. This
But
it's still only
he
it's still
needs to
Seraphon
kind of-
turn 3. It's still Seraphon turn 3. That's the thing. Like he can literally just table. He can table the Slaves to Darkness, pretty much. He can table them in turn 3 or turn 4, and then take all 4 objectives. You know, summon 10 skinks, teleport 40 skinks wherever you want, and he can score 12 points just from this objective alone. And he is only going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13 to 4. He's only 9 points behind, and he gets 8 points from holding this, even if he doesn't take it in the next turn, which he probably will. So I'm pretty confident the Seraphon player would win this, but
Luke may not be. And to be
yeah,
honest,
I think that's how it. Yeah,
in a dice-based game.
but the thing is, that's why you shouldn't let your game overrun by 3 turns.
Yes, there is that.
Because you might say, oh, it's not, you know, maybe he'd fail all the rolls, and that's true. But that doesn't matter. If the averages say this player would probably win, I think that's probably how you're going to be deciding it on an overrun time thing.
Hey, you two, how you doing?
Yeah, good.
Have you come to relieve me, sir?
I've come to relieve you because I know you have other duties to take care of. So I'm going to step in and let JP talk at me. You've been doing a fabulous job, though. I've really enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
It's been a game. I think we can all agree on that. It's been a game.
It's certainly been a game.
It's
I'm gonna be watching this as it goes on, because as much as I'm 90% sure the Seraphon has won, like it's 10% might be enough.
It's Luke, isn't it? Luke,
it's Luke, and we say that with grit in our teeth. It's Luke, and he always does this. But yeah, we shall see. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. I've been told to say landline, so I'm saying landline. And
nice one.
Good luck. Don't forget to soak in phase 3.
Yeah, thank you.
See ya.
What have you thought of the game so far, Phil?
Yeah, well, it's been interesting, hasn't it? I think it's always interesting watching you guys trying to commentate on the game, because you're never quite sure what's going on.
You never know.
Making a mistake, aren't they? You know,
yeah. Also, when there's so many different plays to make, like I was saying this before. It's like it's not even really a matter of a mistake. It's just sort of like, well, of these 2 very dangerous outcomes, which one do you want to play around the most? You know, and it's not really that one's right or one's wrong. It's just you just don't know. You know, you don't know who's going to win priority. You don't know who's going to make this charge. Like, it's just it's
exactly. And even the skink retreat, you know,
50-50.
You know, and I've played about 4 or 5 games with Seraphon now, and only one with this kind of list. And there's a lot going off in there. You really have to be hyper conscious of positioning.
I mean, I don't know if you heard us talking about it, but I think there was a way for the Seraphon player to not lose his block of 40 with a clever retreat when he made the Fangs of Sotek move. And
I saw that, because a lot of people don't realize you can break coherency in the move. It's
you just have to finish.
You're right. With an 8-inch move, they could have wrapped around those.
Yeah, they could have split, run around the Saurus, and joined on the other side, and then this game would be very much over. It'd be the same situation, but the 3. Both units of Salamanders would be alive, and there'd still be... Well, the Skinks would be dead now, but you'd just be in this situation, but with the Varangard further away. This objective wouldn't have been scored, and both units of Salamanders alive, so...
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine the players have to be talking it through now. Just because we are out of time, so... I think you can, like, I don't know. I'm sure Luke will be trying to defend his case, and I definitely think, you know, I'm not saying it's 100% impossible for Luke to win from here, but I would expect the Seraphon player. Oh, okay. It looks like maybe they're going to try and quickly play it out, or at least see a little bit of it. I imagine they can probably do.
Well, it's always I know that Luke was keen to, play to a time scale, but I think it is difficult when you're up against the Seraphon army, especially in TTS, that you see there's so much stuff to move around on the table.
Yeah, of course.
And I think you talked about it earlier. You get into this kind of hyper measurement, don't you? The 3-point
range.
Yeah,
exactly. Everything's measured to the exact inches, and it's just a different game. And I have just seen it take it longer. And as you say, Seraphon is a complicated army, and it's got 100 plus moving pieces. So
yeah, do you think TTS play is different to the actual game in terms of tactics? Do you think, or
yeah, I think it plays out differently. I think there's a lot of unsung stuff that goes off just on stuff like you can't reach the other side of the table, right? And it's not easy to measure 9 inches from everywhere on the other side of the table. So you tend to just put your guys down in a place, and often it doesn't make a difference. Sometimes it does, but often it doesn't. And it's just, you can measure everything all the time, and you can move, you've got a sort of different view of the table from like straight up and down, and you can sort of see everything. I think it's small, but it's enough difference that it just slows you down at every action you're trying to do. And then over, a game that should be 3 hours, it becomes 4 hours. And also Age of Sigmar, I think, is just getting slower. You play an army like Seraphon where, a lot of the game is happening in the hero phase and the shooting phase. The old days of Eos where it was mainly combat, which goes twice as fast as everything else, is over. And also that makes it harder, when you can always retreat and charge or teleport, it makes it harder to know what's going to happen in the game. If this was just 2 combat armies and we were looking at them all in combat, it looks like you didn't get very many CP. You still got 3. If we were like, they're all in combat, we could resolve it, right? We'd be like, well, you're going to win this combat. You're going to win this combat, so this is probably how the game's going to go. Whereas now it's like, well, you could be anywhere on the board next turn. So
I'm just catching up on the game as well. So Slave's starting 13-4 on the score.
Yes. But this back objective...
Yeah, Croak's just done Celestial Deliverance, but the Sorcerer Lord has survived.
Oh, nice.
Vanguard taking 3 more wounds, so the Sorcerer Lord is still around.
Vanguard taking 3, okay. The thing I'd be watching for is end of the movement phase, something can teleport, and just... It is bad that Sorcerer Lord is still alive, but he could even get shot off.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, it just takes 2 turns of scoring of this objective. So this is only Seraphon turn 3. So turns 4 and 5 on this back objective, and that's 8 points, and the gap is gone.
Yeah.
So I'm sure these guys will figure out a resolution as to what they think is going to happen. The Vanguard look like they're 3 wounds left on the Vanguard. We'll see if the rest of this damage gets through in the magic phase. It definitely will in the shooting phase. So. And we will see a teleport at the end of the movement phase, which ignores the no retreat restriction.
So do you think Luke could have done anything different?
I think really, we talked about this a lot. There was one turn where he was out of range for his buffs, and that's what caused... So instead of the Vanguard being on a 2-up rerollable, they were just on a naked 3-up, and that's the turn they got slapped.
Was that turnover from 1 to 2 where he got the double, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
And so he got slapped. I don't know how much you want to labor that point, given that you could have just failed the prayers, right? Maybe you just failed the prayer. I would have liked to see him pump more damage into the middle of the board. Instead of taking this side objective, he could have been taking this middle objective with his Vanguard. He got shot by everything, right? His Vanguard got shot by absolutely everything in the game anyways. So I don't know how much advantage he got from scoring 2 points instead of threatening 4 points. It's hard to say. I think that would be my only, and again, I would never be confident enough to say, oh yeah, you know, that was a mistake. But I think that if I was sort of asking what if, that would be my biggest question. Like, what if you've been applying this pressure to the 4-point objective instead of the 2-point objective? Would this game just already be mathematically over?
Yeah. I mean, I think this turn right now that's taking place is why everybody hates Croak, isn't it? We've seen Celestial Deliverance go on. Comet's calls coming in now. Croak going off, killing everything. It's vile.
Yeah, it's just, and there's so little you can do about it.
Yeah.
It looks like we're measuring. Sorcerer has 1 wound left. That's a lot more than no wounds because it still blocks the teleport. Ooh, double 6. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know what that double 6 was for. Was that saving him or killing him? Or killing something else?
Is that
that looks like 3. Oh, that looks like 3 failed 4-ups. Oh, this one re-rolls into a 4? I don't know what's happening. So many dice are being rolled. Age of Sigmar has progressed so far from hit, wound, save. I love this. Just dice after dice after dice. Maybe I'm just being pranked by the players. They're just like, we'll just keep rolling dice.
Yeah, the game was over 5 minutes ago.
But the Sorcerer Lord looks like he is still alive on 1 wound. So whatever all that dice was. And this Varangard is alive on 2 wounds. So looks like we got some buffs. But it looks like everything's just survived. Oh, 4 summoning points, yeah. That's not enough, I don't think. I think it's 5 or 6 to summon 10 skinks, so not enough, I don't think, to summon 10 more skinks. Those skinks are 10 inches away from the objective, so they would need a 2. I believe skinks move 8. I'll just double check. Skink. Skinks, yeah, they move 8, so they'd only... Yeah, it looks like they're fine. They've run. So now he's taken that objective. He's scoring 4 points. I think that's probably it. I don't know how Luke ever takes this objective back. He's not taking this home objective with the Salamander still alive and the Varangard all dead. So I think he's fine. He can even just shoot this off and charge the Marauders with all of his skinks. Even Croak. You can charge Croak into the Marauders without being afraid.
Yeah, exactly. They've got to be calling it at the end of this turn, surely now.
Yeah. There's definitely no need to... You can sort of check for the double 1 charges and stuff like that this turn, but this to me looks like a time to talk it out situation. These 2... What are these? Oh, some Skink Priest. Yeah, so he's definitely holding this objective. He's still going to be able to charge because he can kill these 2 Varangard in the shooting phase.
Yeah.
So then he'll still be free to charge. He can even charge the skinks over here into the knights and be confident of holding both objectives.
And this is turn 3 now, isn't it? So
yeah, so he's still got turn 4 and 5 scoring that top objective. It's one of those things where, again, it's important to remember it is a 5-turn game. When stuff like this happens, like you don't count yourself out ever, because you can be like, oh, I'm way behind and it looks like it's bad, but as long as you're getting your equal numbers of turns in, you can do a lot basically.
Just seeing the teleport going off now.
So there's the 40 skink have teleported out.
I think he's just clearing them for now, isn't he? And he'll be coming back in.
Yeah, you can put him. Although so is he still holding this objective? Looks like there's 6 Marauders here. There are 6, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's only got 5 models here. So, maybe he's gonna shoot the Marauders. He has got a 16-inch range, so he should be good to shoot the Marauder, but he'd have to shoot a fair few of them to keep them from dying. Or, yeah, okay, this looks safer. Just pop him down here. He only needs 1 in, and they're all going to get to shoot, so the Marauders should all be dead.
Yeah. I really can't... Yeah, I can't see how Luke has got any place to go here now.
Yeah, I mean, it... And again, most of that is not because I don't think there are shenanigans Luke could pull off in 2 turns, maybe, to try for a comeback, but it's really that we know the game's going to get called at the end of this turn, so...
Yeah.
You have to be looking at, like, what's a reasonable estimation of the state of the game, and I think if you had to bet money on who was going to win, you have to be putting money on the Seraphon player right now, because these 40 skinks are going to shoot off all these Marauders, and then they're just going to teleport wherever they want in the next turn. They teleport over here and they shoot the next guys. It's not, that teleport has not been shut down at all. The heroes for the Seraphon player are all still alive. It's like everything's still going for the Seraphon player, and the slaves list is really out of gas at this point. Again, it'd be very different if you didn't have the teleport. You'd be like, well, can you get across in time? But those 40 skinks can really just end up wherever you want. So, be interested to see what the players what they're saying.
Yeah, I was just looking for an update actually from the table side, but things have gone pretty quiet there at the moment.
Yeah, well, as often is the case at the end of the game like this, like
big debate time.
Big debate, yeah. You know, we might say, okay, it looks like it's probably Seraphon, but if you're the Slaves player, you're thinking about every possible out you have, you know, and you don't want to. And I always recommend players do that. You know, you should be saying, okay, well, what could I really do? How could I play this out? But it's also, as we said, it's just the reason to get your games done in time. And it should be better when we get back to real tabletop. These skinks, I presume, are shooting the Marauders. Going to be putting the re-rolling ones, probably. Or maybe not. I don't see the buff. Yeah, I love it. I love it when you see the hand shaking and you're like, it's someone obviously talking, and they're like, okay, we're doing this. But I'm just watching it and I'm like, I don't know what this is. Oh, we're spending 2 command points. I imagine both of these units are getting +1 to hit just to make sure or something. Yeah. We're re-rolling these ones. Oh, no, we're not re-rolling the ones. Okay. Oh, okay. The Salamanders are re-rolling ones. Loads of buffs going out. And then here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's 6 mortal wounds into the Marauders. They're all going to run away to Battle Shock after that. This is mortal wound. Yeah, okay, so the Vanguard are dead. Oh, okay, maybe everything... No, so we didn't shoot at the Marauders in the end. Okay, fine. So then these guys need a 9-inch charge. I don't know if I'd want to charge the Salamanders in, per se. But maybe you do. Oh, no. Okay, they're shooting. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. There's just loads of dice being rolled. Seraphon things are happening. The Salamanders do have a 12-inch range, so they should be in range for any shooting.
Sorry, JP. I know you're talking one way there. I've just got a technical glitch I'm dealing with, but I think I'm going to swap over to table side.
Well, good to have you, anyways.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, right. I'm going to jump over to table side.
All right.
Welcome to Tab in.
What do you guys reckon? What does chat reckon? What does Fabian reckon?
Yo, what are we saying?
I mean, I sort of assumed we'd be calling it in favor of the Seraphon player.
Yeah, I think Luke was what they're doing is saying that the Seraphon player has his turn, and then I think they might talk it through. I think from there.
Yeah, I don't know how does he come back.
I don't think he. I mean, with the Vanguard whiffing, I think his one chance there was.
Yeah. I mean, I agree that was his that was the out, right? But he got so unlucky with his rolls.
Yeah, I mean, I think he got quite lucky with the spike of the Salamanders.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Luke's potentially made a mistake here with the Marauders. I don't think he needed to go for that charge into the home objective to get it. I think he could have screened out his home objective quite easily, and then maybe just forced.
The thing is, even then, you're gonna get teleported on, and you're gonna lose all your Marauders, right? And it's the gap is only 8 points. So and that's just going. So even if the Seraphon player doesn't get onto your objective turn 3, which he has, you're losing your objective for 2 turns.
So what I was trying to say is that if you hadn't done that, right?
Yeah.
Seraphon player this turn would only be getting 1 point.
But he would kill all your Marauders, right? Because he teleport these 40 skinks 9 inches away. You kill all your Marauders on your home objective. And then turns 4 and 5, you can't contest your home objective at all.
No, but
I agree. I think he would be in a better position than he is now.
Yeah, of course. Because
he lost 4 points, right, by doing this. Yeah, I agree.
On 5, Luke would be on 13.
Yeah.
Now, if Luke wins the priority roll again, then he's claiming another 5 points, which puts him on 18 to.
Yeah, I think maybe he was just going for the Hail Mary.
Yeah. 18 to 5. Then the Seraphon player gets the top one.
Also, I think he maybe realized that the only way he was winning the game was by killing the salamanders. And if he killed the salamanders, this play was correct.
Okay.
So you see what I mean? Like, if all the salamanders were dead, he would have scored 4 points, and then it would be worth it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I think maybe he just sort of... He was like, okay, I'm going to go for the play that makes more sense for me winning the game. Because the long game, these 40 skinks are just teleporting the objective every turn.
I think you definitely go for that play if you get the reroll to hit some wounds off.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, but he didn't have any buffs. Yeah.
Yeah, because he failed it.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I think that's a good point. Yeah, I think maybe you're right. Maybe he just ended up doing sort of. He made the play as if he was going to get the prayer off, but he'd already failed it. Maybe you're right.
I think if you fail the prayer, you go defensively, right? And
and in that case, he could have actually retreated and just stayed on this objective and kept his Vanguard alive, at least for his own turn.
Yeah, exactly, right? And he's still got to commit into the Vanguard.
But you can stay alive for 1 more turn, you score 5 more points, and you deny the 4-point objective for 1 more turn. I think that's maybe, that sounds smart to me.
I'm not saying, I think you're right. I'm not saying Luke's, going to definitely win from that
but I think it's maybe a higher percentage. That's the higher expected value play. I think you're right.
But it means that, it's an 18, going into the Seraphon 4, it's 18-5. He's then got to take, definitely got to take Luke's home objective, putting, 18-5, it means it's 18-10. If he gets 5, then he's got to then score.
That's a lot more pressure. A lot more pressure
to win the game rather than just, So I think you could have eked out more value in it, but
it's hard. Yeah, obviously, I agree with what you're saying. It's not a guaranteed win, but I think it might have been a bit more value.
Yeah. I think, and I think it all stems from not putting the Vanguard centrally. And
that's what Phil was asking. Did I think Luke make any mistakes? And I was like, I'm not sure you can call it a mistake, but imagine if instead of holding on to this 2-point objective with all your pressure, you were holding the 4-point objective with all your pressure.
Yeah.
You'd also have had your buffs on your Vanguard every turn.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would have. I think that would have been better. But it's it's always hard. It's easy to say for us what the big tactical decisions are playing because we're also not worrying. One, we're not worrying about what the little decisions are because we don't have to play, and 2, it's just sometimes. You can't see what would have happened if you did what we said, so there's no available punish. We're looking, I think, maybe at whether the Chaos Lord would kill 10 skinks. They are bravery 10, so I don't think so. I don't think he'd get them all to run away.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Especially with him sort of being able to teleport all over the place.
Yeah, like these 40 skinks can be anywhere any turn. And Croak even, right? Croak can just waddle over onto an objective.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he didn't have to send the Marauders after that 10 unit 10 skinks. The War Shrine could have gone in quite easily. And then the War Shrine, I mean, is potentially...
It's at least threatening, right?
Yeah, it's threatening, right? Do you know what I mean? So... let me just jump in. I don't know if we've got a result. Let me just double check.
Yeah, at least find out if they're talking it through.
Yeah.
All right, just me and you, chat. It's just us. Who are you rooting for? What does it look like if Slaves to Darkness win from here, I wonder? I guess he just wins both priorities and just, this guy goes in, they clear off these 10. He wins both priorities, so he gets his maximum amount plus 10 points or something, and it just ends up like 23-20 or something. He just ekes out that 1-point lead. That's probably what it looks like to win. I mean, I should update the thing. It's 13-9. With the Seraphon playing all the good objectives. But I'm sure they'll figure it out over in the channel. It looks like they're not rolling any more dice, so that they have just committed to talking it through.
Hey, JD.
Yep.
Okay, so the guys are going to call it a draw.
A draw?
Yeah, the reason why they're calling it a draw is because they're actually going to save the game and then play the rest of the couple of turns later. Because this is actually the Seraphon players' request is to carry on playing, and obviously we've gone quite quite a while.
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
so
yeah.
Maybe
Well,
we can
cool.
maybe we can sort it out so we can stream the rest of it. But the guys are actually going to come over and say hello to everyone. If that's cool.
No, I don't want that at all.
All right, I'll let them.
Let's hear from our players who've been slogging it out in this brain teaser.
Hey, JP.
Yeah, I heard it's cool that they're gonna basically wrap it up later.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I've just been chatting to them both, and they're just going through the scoring right now. But I'm sure they're going to explain it. But with Luke taking the turn, he was
did Luke win priority again?
Luke won priority again. He was saying, and if I get priority again into turn 5, there's a chance. They've both talked through that chance.
Yeah.
But they're not. Obviously, there's a lot of chances to get to that point. So it's not, neither are comfortable to say, well, let's just talk it through the turns. So it makes sense for them to just basically save the game and come back and play it out to turn 5.
Sure. And then it's fine. Luke doesn't want everyone to watch him get tabled. I understand. No, but this is super good sportsmanship again. It's obviously always better to play it out.
Yeah, and Basil's like, hey, I'm sorry, I don't want to call out 2 turns. It's like, hey, man, don't apologize for that. That makes perfect sense,
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, my TTS has just kicked in with the background tunes.
Hey, it's Speedy Gonzalez and his co-partner. How you guys feeling? You guys have been duking it out.
Yeah, it's a really close game.
Yeah,
especially winning that term roll.
Yeah, you didn't even ring the priority bell. Look at this. You should be banned. You should take the L just for that. No, yeah. So, what are your guys' thoughts, Luke? How do you feel the game's gone?
Yeah, it's been it's super hard in it when the Vanguard without any buffs, they don't do any damage.
Mm-hmm. And Basil, what do you reckon?
I mean, Seraphon are obviously stupid, but obviously so the Vanguard can get around a lot of their shenanigans. So
yeah.
I practiced this a lot, and I knew kind of going in what I wanted to do, and at that point it was just going to be, it's going to be like if I can catch up on 4 and 5, I always thought I was going to give up a lot of the board, was going to give up a lot of at least that full 40 to the
yeah.
Losing that unit of salamanders was probably not the best call, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's just and obviously when they can pile in 6 and then have the second activation at 3, like I want to be quick, but at the same time, like it's all the tiny distances.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. We were like, there are a bunch of things we've sort of been saying, like maybe you could have done this, maybe either player could have done this or done this, but it didn't really look like anyone was making, like, it's not mistakes per se, it's more just like there's so many decisions to make here for both players. Like, it's just a tough game, and you guys, it's been really cool to watch, both of you guys.
Oh yeah, you've been playing. It's been super tight, isn't it? It's so hard to play with so many models, isn't it? But you've been playing it really well, not making any mistakes or anything.
Well, thank you. And it's so many models, and then so many models on TTS obviously makes it. Yeah,
TTS is a slower format, and you get multiple phases of stuff going on. And Luke's a notorious slow player. He's got priors, So I'm just sorry you had to sit through it.
That's okay. He told me that he wanted the game to be over at 3 hours, and I said, I watched Owen beat you, and it seemed like the
Is that why you agreed to beat him off stream for the last 2 turns? You were like, look, it's fine. I understand you want to save face. No, it's been really, really cool. Both players, I think, have had a lot of tough decisions and made some good plays. And the game, it's always cool when a game is going to be a 5-turn like sweat fest. It's just a shame that on TTS it's a bit slower and you can't fit it into 3 hours.
Yeah. It's just like moving especially it's the 40 blocks, moving the single 40 blocks all over.
Yeah, of course. For like loads and again, you've got stuff going on in every phase. Okay, so hopefully we can stream then the last 2 turns at some later juncture.
Hopefully. I would be very down for that. I know you guys are a little ahead of me, so I imagine you probably got dinner and fun stuff to go do. So I will let you go do that. But yeah, Luke, just let me know when. It's Sunday, so I have work tomorrow. But I'll stay up late, or I'll do something to make this work, because I know
No, cool. Yeah, Luke's muted himself on Discord, which is either an accident or maybe he has to go build IKEA furniture. That's what happened. That's what happened last time. But yeah, we'll hopefully catch the end of the game, and even if we don't, it'll be someone will post a result somewhere or something like that, so that everybody knows what happened.
Sounds good.
Definitely, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Perfect. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for playing the game. Thanks, Fabian and Phil, for stand-in commentary.
You're welcome, man. I want to go buy some salamanders. So.
Thanks a lot, Mark, for betraying everybody on the stream. But no, yeah, really well played to both of you guys. And thanks a lot, chat, for tuning in for this game. Hopefully, we will catch the end of it. And yeah, if you like watching this stuff, make sure to like and subscribe. But yeah, so bye from me.
Thanks
Cheers,
all.
guys.
See you guys.
See you later.
Cheers then.
Bye bye.
This video is made possible by our patrons. If you want to know more about how to support us, click on the link to the right.